Last time on Sentinel Comics, the role-playing game, you suddenly find yourself in just a white area with thousands of golden threads reaching off far into the distance. You see your past, and it rewinds it as you go
the wrong direction along it.
Yes. Things don't have to be the way that they're going to be. You don't have to be who you become. You can give me the needle now, and we can just end it.
Hold on.
I need to go back to the thread verse. I need to go back to the thread place and pick a different thread.
None of this is real. This is all trickery.
Yeah, but you don't know. I mean, that could have been real. I could have saved them.
As the whiteness fades, you find yourself in the park, and it looks very familiar, and you are shaking Ultraviolent's hand, and he's saying, "Your father and I never saw eye to eye." Okay, welcome back.
Great.
So, you just got back from a crazy place, right?
Yeah, and back is I guess back's right, but it doesn't necessarily feel like the right term.
Well, I think it's even more right because you're also back in time. Yeah.
Yeah, back.
Yeah. So you woke up from the loom and you are back at your father's funeral at Rhyme the hero.
And now we need to go
His
back
funeral.
to the future.
It's true.
Maybe, or maybe
They should
just
make a movie
Yeah, but you know what? In that movie, they don't go to the future, they go to the past.
right. But they have to get back to the. Never mind.
And while
As
you're
long as they have
there,
a sweet ride.
let me tell you what he's going to do when he goes back to the past.
Yeah.
Nothing cool. He's going to steal somebody else's song. That's about it. Maybe try to sleep with his mom.
Almost. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yep.
What's the plot of that film?
On the upside, he stops her sexual assault. But
That's the upside, folks.
yep.
I don't know if you've seen this movie.
Have you seen this movie?
I have seen this movie.
I was just genuinely concerned all of a sudden.
Chicken?
What?
It's from the movie.
Yeah, it's.
I haven't seen the movie recently.
I mean, anything you've done recently.
So
my
the
God.
funeral is progressing as normal. You get to the point of the service though that Whiteout previously
Right.
arrived and started causing a ruckus.
The ruckus.
Yeah, he
He
started
brought out
causing
the-
a ruckus.
Ruckus.
He was like,
He brought out the guitar.
yeah.
His
That's
ice
not what a
guitar.
ruckus
Anyway,
is.
here's
A
Wonderwall.
ruckus.
There isn't. It's not a noun.
Yeah,
Ruckus
no.
isn't a noun.
No.
Ruckus
It's
like a
the
hurricane?
act.
Yes.
It's the action of
Here I am.
ruckusing.
Ruckus like a hurricane?
Yeah, that's the one. Notably, Ultraviolent looks a lot younger, but he looks
the same in that
a lot
art to me.
sadder. I didn't do two
So
arts.
no white hair. Is that what you're saying?
Just color the hair in. Color it with a pencil.
He has black streaks in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to color it in? I got a pen.
I got a pen here. It's black.
It's blue.
Oh no.
That's what we
There,
find
here.
out. It's a red pen.
So he also has got a dye in his hair. He also has a splotchy
This
dye
is
job.
this is natural. He doesn't.
His spotchy dye job is natural.
There,
Unlike
Okay.
some
Recurring
people's.
spotchy dye.
there you go.
He does look much younger that way.
Yeah.
You're right. Changes
Much.
everything.
His skin is still grayish. He has fewer wrinkles, but he does look very sad.
So the grayishness
Can
was
you draw a
because of his
tear?
age?
T.
I thought that's just
No.
how he looks.
No, his skin's just gray. Yeah, I
Okay.
said that. Yeah.
Okay.
But his costume glows.
His costume still glows.
With purple
Yes.
power.
Violently.
Yeah. Yes.
Power Ranger.
And also notably, he much like the professor, you cannot get a reading on.
Not a real person anymore. Right.
Right. Just after you remember Whiteout causing a ruckus.
Nope.
A ruckus.
Ice guitar.
That would be okay. Yeah. That's fine.
Ultraviolent looks like suddenly alarmed, gets up, and leaves. Just walks out the back, pushes past some people.
Rude.
Yeah. they progress with
Do
the
you know
service.
anybody
Like in a-
who's good at
So
sneaking?
rude.
Okay. Well,
Do you?
no, I guess not.
So I see. So we see him leave, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you see him leave, and then a couple minutes later, he
Yeah.
walks by you, just kind of pushing through the crowd urgently.
Yeah. Can I see where he's going?
Yes, you can. He seems to be going down the street in the opposite direction of the university. So like, university is off one way on the other side of the park, and he's headed the other way this time.
How many people are off in that direction?
Lots and lots. He's
Okay.
pushing through. He's pushing through the
Great.
crowd
Is
currently.
he heading towards the part of downtown where the nice apartments are?
No,
Is he
just
heading
curious.
towards
no.
where
That's
Riley's-
that's around the same direction
Yeah.
as the
Okay.
as the.
So I want to
Is he-
tail him real surreptitiously.
Okay. Do you
Because I'm
want
just
to?
Evelyn right now.
Do you want to roll an overcome to see how well you do that?
If you don't roll the other overcome, you can't fail.
Then he sees you.
You also can't succeed.
Yes.
Extras. Minor detail.
Is
All
he
right.
towards where Riley's parents' house is?
I'm going to use my awareness. I am. I would like to answer your question.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It doesn't seem.
It's just kind of hard to tell at this point.
If you parked your car down there, then you could like get out. You know the highway. You could get there, I guess. But like,
Okay.
it's not.
I just
It's
don't
not
know.
in the like direction of it. It
Not
just seems like he's
clearly
urgently.
their house is at the top of the hill that he is now ascending.
Yeah.
It's just like that area of town.
Would you say that life is a highway?
Okay,
Yes.
moving on.
I'm going to use awareness and insight.
Okay. Yeah.
And I am going to use my +1
Great.
that I got from
Yeah.
0 points
Yeah.
last time.
That way you don't forget it.
Right,
Just
exactly.
gone.
Just use it right away.
Just got it.
That's no
Right.
problem. So that's what I'm going to do.
Excellent.
My whole plan.
Ooh. You got a 10 there. Doesn't do anything though.
It sits there being my max die.
Yeah.
But this 4 is going to become a 5.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a 5.
All right, it's 5. Yeah, so you are able to follow him. He weaves through the crowds. The only thing is, like, you're able to follow him without him noticing you.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
But people around you are starting to look at you weird, like you're chasing somebody.
Okay.
And he finally breaks out of the crowd and ducks down an alleyway.
Interesting. Cool. So I want to go. I want to go someplace where I can't be seen,
Okay.
and I want to change what I look like,
Okay.
so I don't look like Evelyn anymore.
Yeah.
I want to change so that I look like a little kid.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you just have the ability to do that, or do
I mean,
you
I'm
need a-
shapeshifting as a D6 power.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
probably do an overcome
Yeah,
for that.
I was
for
kind
how
of
we-
figuring that I would do a. So I'm gonna. I think that I will use self-discipline as well as shapeshifting. That's a D8, and this other D6. So we'll see. As much as I can, change my.
Yeah.
So 2.
2. Would you like to fail or succeed with a major?
I'll actually
quest?
just fail
Okay.
in this situation.
You're
so,
just like,
so like, I
can't figure out
quite
what-
get it right.
I forget what kids look like.
You
get
don't
it,
fail
yeah.
it. You don't fail at shapeshifting. You succeed at shapeshifting, but you just make yourself into exactly the same as yourself, but the height of a child, and you're just like, nope, that's not right.
Yeah, exactly.
Not quite.
Shapeshifting
Looks
is
like-
very like
Not quite.
takes a lot
work
of.
through that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
Yeah.
not the.
Yeah.
All right.
Back at the funeral, what is everyone else doing? Does anyone else react to this? The ceremony is wrapping up currently.
I am very freaked out. I and have been because I'm
Yeah,
everyone
you
else
definitely still have all the memories of what you just did over the last.
I'm I haven't been able
24
to. I trying not to be rude because it's somebody's dad's funeral, but I'm right next to you and I'm like, do you remember me, right? That happened, right? And you see there's flowers sprouting up. There's I'm just getting very clearly very agitated, and that's causing some floral things.
getting grass
I'm
neck.
just you're yeah. So I'm because I would still think that potentially I could ruin the planet, right? I'm like, does this mean it's okay? Is it fine or is it not fine? How do we get back to the thread place? But I'm like trying not to. I'm like trying not to be like rude. I'm just like, so like when you get a chance,
Right.
I got
So like problems?
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't actually think that I know anything about because I didn't leave the loom while you were all explaining well, what did you see? Well, what did you see? Well, this is what happened to mine, and everything's terrible, and I gotta get back.
I was freaking out in the background, but you were also freaking out, so you probably didn't notice
Yeah.
me. So like you don't know what I'm talking about,
yeah.
probably.
So I have zero idea what
You're like I know you, but what?
right. So I just had a very emotional thing. We're back at my dad's funeral. You're freaking out. What is happening? So I think that it would take me a second because I would be kind of annoyed at you at first, and I'd just be like, seriously, can you back off for just a second here? And you're so relentless that now I'm torn between the fact that okay, now you're starting to cause a scene, and we're near the front of my dad's funeral, and you're causing a scene, and I'm like, okay, just all right, go, just walk that way. And I just kind of push you, and we get off to the side a little bit because I'm just seriously, you need to get it together. I don't know where your deal is.
Can't get it together.
Not the time.
Yes.
Get it together.
Oh, okay. You look like you wanted to say something.
I want to interrupt this.
Okay.
So yeah, we have to get off to the side, out of the way a little bit. And I'm just I'm annoyed, but also it's kind of nice to have something to focus on that's not the list of trauma that just went on. So I'm just all right. What? Words? Use your words.
So you remember who I am, right? And that really happened, right? And just a million miles a second. I'm just I'm going super fast. I run through a bunch of questions where I'm you know who I am, you know what, that happened, right? You were there, we went on an adventure together, and now we're here again. I'm not crazy, am I? Operative word.
So I think at this point I'm gonna scan the crowd. Can I see where EB is? Can I see where?
You see where he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
don't know where.
You don't see Coda because you don't know who Evelyn
Right.
Cross is.
Right. And
Evelyn
you
Cross,
can't
Right.
see- you-
Evelyn
who
Cross
you
is gone
also can't
anyway,
see.
but even
Yeah.
still, Coda's not around.
And neither of you are in costume, right? When we came back into the form that we were at the funeral.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do, for the sake of keeping my temper down and getting the scene, keeping us from making a scene. We've gotten to the side, I see where EB is, and I'm going to just kind of corral you in that direction.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be just handle this, please. I can't deal with this and this at the same time unless you want me to also punch this person. So.
Please don't punch me.
Right.
I don't know what'll happen. I don't know what I'll do if you punch me.
I feel very bad because I understand. I'm yeah, okay, you're freaking out and you've had a really bad thing and it's been really traumatizing and whatnot. But I'm also very aware of the fact that I am not emotionally in control at this moment.
Yeah.
So I'm just all right, we get over here and I'm here, can you assist? Can you just I just kind of flag you over or something. If you want to come over or not, that's up to you. But
I'm not good with children.
I punch you again.
Yeah.
Yeah, EB will come over and be
The memory of the punch is there, but I don't see the bruise anymore.
Right.
We fixed
I
that.
don't feel a thing. In the last very short amount of time, I've experienced several traumatic events, none of which stuck with me.
Yeah.
So, I'll say I'll come over and be all right, what's going on? Calm down. I know this is very dangerous and difficult for all of us because things seem to be repeating themselves, but we've got to figure out what's going on. We need to get to the bottom of this, and we can only do so if we remain calm. We seem to be the only people that know what has happened. I don't know what has happened to our friend Coda, who was with us. We'll have to attempt to find them later. But for now, it seems the funeral's going on without a hitch or a blizzard, which is good. I look around. Can I see Bert Harper or Whiteout anywhere in attendance? If he's not freaking out somewhere, is he just here attending the funeral?
He is just here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just sitting quietly.
Great.
And he looks saddened, but
Is he in costume or out of costume?
he is out of costume.
Okay, so he's here as Bert Harper.
Yes.
Okay. Next question. This one I think would stand out. Is Drivel here?
No.
Like, I didn't figure,
No.
but I thought I'd check in because that's the other person that we know. We don't know where most people were in the amount of time that passed
Right.
that has now been rewound.
Yeah.
But we know about Whiteout and we know about Drivel.
Yes.
And so I am curious where they are, but we know where Bert is, so that's good. And we know there's no bagman here currently.
Right. There is no bagman. It seems
good.
like everything is just going very well with the.
I reach into my pocket, I fish out the spool of red thread. Does it have any wiggle left to it?
No. It stopped wiggling
Right.
when you defeated the big one.
Right.
And it basically just became inert thread.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just checking.
Yep.
You got 2 threads.
I do. I have the
Right.
thread. I also have the thread from the hefty bagman.
Right.
Yeah, but it had never wiggled after I removed it from it, and I assume, yeah, great.
Yeah.
So,
And so, like, about now is when they're breaking out of the crowd.
okay.
So, just so you have a scale of time.
Sure.
Yeah.
So at this point, because ultraviolent left, and none of us followed except for Evelyn, and none of us are in communication or anything with Evelyn, so that's its own thing. The three of us are here to deal with what's happening here at the moment, and that's all we have access to. What did you two end up going and doing after the funeral the last time we had this event?
Last time after the funeral, I went back to the manor with Whiteout.
I'm asking Riley as EB that question. I know what you
Oh,
did. I know what
sorry.
you did. Christopher knows everything that happened. EB is like, all right. Well, after the funeral ended last time, what did you both go do? Is there anything that happened that we're like, we should go look into that? Because we presumably know some of the future now.
Yeah.
So how can we get ahead of that curve?
I went back to my lab after I saw, let me see, something went towards that. It was the bagmen that were like,
The
or
one that
no,
was-
Bert mentioned the university.
And well, also the bagman was running towards the university, the
Yeah,
one that tried to
so-
escape. So you went directly to the university. You went back to your home, and then later showed up at the university for
Yeah,
reasons.
I took Bert and we went back to the manor. I took care of him, got him calm, and he went to bed. And then I did as much research as I could on Ultraviolent and Bagman and everything to see if I could find out something, because it seems like I find it very hard to believe that Ultraviolent and my father were friends by the end of this, or something must have happened. Something about that seems very wrong.
Do I know anything about Ultraviolent and his later in life friendship with Rhyme?
You don't have any reason to believe that it was a thing. It was not common knowledge.
Okay.
And it's not something that either of them would have shared. They usually met very privately, and
Sure.
you would share coffee or what have you. You know, be a drink here or there. The scotch. There's scotch drinkers.
Are they?
Can't be
They're
all
all
bad,
What
right?
are their favorite scotches?
He likes the that really famous Scottish one.
Glenn Miller?
That's the one.
The big band swing orchestra director, Glenn Miller?
Yes. He also has a Scotch.
He came out with a line of celebrity scotches in
Right.
this universe.
Yeah.
Interesting.
In this universe, Glenn Miller has a Scotch, and it's very good.
If you're in the mood.
It's top rated.
7 out of 8 stars.
Yes.
What a scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
that's also
this is the scale for
the
this universe.
scale
It's
they
never-
use here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's 8 stars.
Well, there's
Classic
something
8-star
clearly
scale.
wrong with this reality.
Each,
So that you don't
each
have a
star is
midpoint.
12 and a half
Yeah.
points.
You don't
You
have
like
Percent.
10 out of 12 are how doctors recommend it.
You don't want to have the cop out of a midpoint, right?
Right.
So you can just be
So
neutral.
8's your
You wanna-
solution to that problem.
Yeah. Well, that way, that also gives you real good granularity.
Yeah.
I'm with Adam on this one. I think this is really realistic. Observation to you.
10 wouldn't do the same thing.
That's too
for
many.
you.
There's too many. You can't keep track of that. There's a lot of cognitive overhead to 10 stars that's
Yeah.
not there with 8.
Yeah, because it gets into double
That's-
digits.
right.
And 6,
Well, there you don't have the fine nuance that you get with 8.
Yeah. 8's just the sweet spot.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
Because, you know why? Because
you're
with
going to tell me.
6, that above the midpoint and below the midpoint are both odd numbers. So you can choose a quarter point. Can't do that with 8 either.
Sure.
Luckily, we're gonna cut all
Forces
of
you to
this.
really choose.
I'm just kidding.
all right. So,
I like this world building. I think it's really.
I think so too.
It's really
It's
critical.
really good.
Glenn Miller Scotch,
I doubt
8-point
it.
star scales.
Right.
We've established
Wow.
what
So yeah,
university
you don't
everyone
you
went to. It's great.
you never met him.
Sure.
You generally, like, if you had ever seen him, you went like, "This is a villain, and I don't like him."
Right.
You know.
Sure.
You probably would not have made a costume for him.
No, would not have.
He doesn't need one. He's doing fine on his own.
He has a costume.
Yeah, well, sort of.
That is a costume.
That's his body.
He's naked.
Huh.
Yeah.
Gross.
Interesting.
He can like do that form. Is basically how he.
You don't have any room to talk.
I'm
Right.
not naked.
Yes, yes.
That's moss that I grew myself.
From
but
you.
Yeah.
That's you.
Thus-
That's your body.
So Lady
Like,
Godiva
all
is
the
naked in
society.
the story.
Right.
Yes.
All of the societal parts are like the people think are weird. Are
If
covered.
you
But
have
if
hair
you your
smaller
hair
than-
to
your
cover
hair-
That's fair.
yourself,
That's fair.
you're still naked.
And that's exactly what's happening here.
Yeah.
That's his.
It's
So
like
many
a Ken
also
doll. That's
people.
different.
Right,
Wow,
but it's not.
okay.
You can't see anything though. It's not like inappropriate. So you were trying to make a plan.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have some idea about things that happen in the next few hours. And of course things are different because Whiteout was never here, freaking out. Ultraviolent is younger, so that's weird, and is left. But even still, we need to go back through the events of what we did before and see how things are different, and see what we can do to try to get ahead of things. We haven't seen any of the burlap people, so that's notable. So our options really, when it comes down to it, are we go to the university and see what's going on there, or we go to the professor's apartment and see what's going on there. Either way, we can hopefully get ahead of whatever comes next.
Have you?
Or we could split up and do both.
I have a
I'm
question.
way ahead of you on that.
You're not even there. You've already split up to go neither of those places.
Correct. We can split up and do 3 things.
I have a question. Have you told us that you can't get a read on?
No,
Okay.
I haven't told anybody that I get a read on anyone ever.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to know, like, that's not actual
That's
knowledge.
a special secret thing from Adam and me, and no one else. Escapolis, anyone Adam
Right.
talks.
Yeah. you
Okay,
can't-
I just want to
you
make
can't
sure that
hear
my
when I
character
talk to
doesn't.
him.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure my hero doesn't know. So.
Hey, you're beautiful and valued, and that's something
Just
just
for me, just for
for
me.
you. And
Thank
no one else can hear that.
I will cherish that forever, and I will
Alright.
never share it with anyone.
All right.
I believe that.
That's good.
Adam says he likes me more than you.
That's not what he said. You just said that you're valued.
You don't know that.
Anyways,
I've heard it both ways.
I think that
Oh my goodness.
maybe the apartment is the right place to go, because that's where we found the who I am slowly beginning to suspect is a bad guy.
Wait. Trevor? No, Trevor was definitely a bad guy from the very start. There was
No,
never
no.
a question
Yeah,
about whether
I'm
Trevor was a bad guy.
He
Slowly.
just came in
Yeah.
punching.
Yeah.
Anybody with a tongue that long must be evil.
Yeah, there's no one that's a good guy with a tongue like that.
There's not.
Gene Simmons?
That's what
bad
I was trying to say. It's,
He's the demon. That's
that's fair. Okay. So I think the apartment would be a good idea because that's where we saw him first.
Sure.
Even
I mean, do you want to go to the apartment? I'll go to the university, and you. Although you got university connections,
I go over here.
and then you could go to the place where you were before. You were saying something about going back to the manor with Whiteout.
Yeah, I went back to the manor with Whiteout, and I tried to research anything that I could find as far as connections between them, a time that would have caused him and my father to become friends.
Right. So you were telling us about that before. What did you come up with in your research?
Nothing. Infuriatingly little.
And you said you also researched the burlap people. What did you come up with on them?
I couldn't find any information about Bagman. I couldn't find any information in the news or anywhere about the relationship between my father and Ultraviolent. I found one picture of them together. Question, actually, because you said that it's not public knowledge that they were friends.
Yeah.
So what was the setting of that picture then?
It was.
Because I thought it was part of a news story or something.
No.
It
was
was
a photograph.
It was a photograph. Yeah.
It was part of the photo album because you saw photos of your family and you were mad.
Right.
Okay.
It was in the photo album.
Or like angsty, I don't know.
Yeah, and it was like
very emo.
it was like a boomer selfie, basically. Like with
There was a barbecue.
camera.
It was like at a barbecue.
It was taken on an
Yeah.
iPad.
One of them has a.
Just hold the entire tablet out.
Yeah.
It says "Kiss the Chef" on one of their. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the chef.
Secret affair.
I mean, like, I could always go back and see if that photo has changed any or if any of my family's history has altered, like in that photo album.
You can also do research maybe about Dr. Sidecar.
I could. See if I can find anything about
Salamander.
I thought it was salami.
Cilantro?
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it, cilantro.
Sevastopol.
Oh, yeah.
You're not even in this scene.
What are you doing?
I can't remember the doctor's name.
They're
Obviously.
planning.
You just
So
hear
I'm actually
disembodied it.
I was going to shapeshift and do a sneaky thing.
Yeah.
No.
Nope, I'm not going to. I'm just going to walk into the alley
Yeah.
and go chat with him.
Okay.
Mr.
so
Violent,
You
I've heard great things.
I saw that you left.
you pop around the corner and he's like at the end of the alley.
Yeah.
And he sees you back there and he goes down another one. He hears you come in and he just looks back and like seems to be evading you.
He's just looking
Oh,
for a place to
interesting.
pee. You know, sometimes when you're in a city
Yeah.
and you're like,
And you're just
there's
like,
nowhere.
there's nowhere.
There's nowhere.
I'm not going to the bathroom in the Steak and Shake down here.
No way.
Because
It's
there's no
filthy.
way.
Right.
There's no way I'm using
Yeah,
that.
Jen, do you know what that's
You
like?
go down a series of alleys, and every time you
Right.
see something, you're like, I guess I have to
I'm
keep
just
going
gonna
down
find an
alleys.
Yeah.
Super
all
relatable.
the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time when you need to pee in a city,
Yep.
right? You just walk down alleys
Yeah.
forever? You just keep walking.
And then
Yeah.
eventually you find a bathroom. At the end of enough alleys,
Like a
very
really
nicely
nice,
appointed
clean
bathroom.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
So-
towels.
If you chase him down this alley
Yeah.
and pop around the next one, like he's at the end of that and he just turns and just goes, "Stop following me."
So I just want to shout out. I just wanted to ask you some questions. I just had an incredibly strange experience, and saw you leave immediately after that happened, and I wanted to ask you about it and see if you were having a similar sort of experience, since I know you're experienced with strange
He seems like
power.
he seems enraged and he
Yeah.
goes, "It's none of your business," and he fires this beam of energy.
Okay.
That you feel like he intentionally misses you.
Sure, okay.
And it just like shoots over your head, and huge explosion
Okay.
against the wall.
Tell him he's your dad.
So he does that.
Yeah.
And he's like, so I'll just like I wanted to, so I'm gonna leave, but now I'm gonna like try to surreptitiously follow him.
Okay.
So what I want to do is like I want to leave and get out of the way. I want to try to climb up the fire escape of a building and kind of like,
Follow
if I'm
the
up really
buildings.
high, see kind of where he is, right? Because I'll be
Yeah.
able to follow him for a lot longer, and
Right.
at least see where he goes. Even if I can't like be tailing him immediately,
Yeah,
I can
okay.
surveillance him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You're gonna
do a thing.
Sure.
To overcome.
To get up there, or
Yeah.
to succeed in the surveillance?
To,
or
for both.
For both,
Yeah,
okay.
really just the surveillance. You can get up
okay,
there,
okay.
No problem.
Then I'm
That's
going to use awareness and insight for the surveillance. Let's see. And that is going to be a 6.
fine. Okay. Yeah. So you get up there. You follow him secretly for a while as he goes through some alleys and seems like he's trying to just make sure that no one
Right.
follows him.
Can I get a sense of where he's headed?
Well, so he's headed like away from all of the notable places that you've been.
Right.
Good thing we're going there.
He then starts to fly. He goes
Oh.
bzzz, and then flies around one of the buildings and shoots back the other direction, and goes faster than you can follow.
Okay. But so what?
But
Like,
it
what's his
seemed-
vector?
It seemed like it seemed like he was trying to make it seem like if anyone was following him, he went this
Sure.
way, but then he zipped back this way
Okay.
towards both of the notable places that you've been.
Okay, the university slash
And the
fancy
yeah,
apartments.
and the
Same
apartment.
enough area.
They're,
Yeah, of
they're,
course.
they're over that way.
They're a
Interesting.
walk away from each other,
Yeah.
as we determined earlier. So,
Cool.
'cause
Yeah.
we did that walk.
So I'm just gonna, my plan then is now, with that information in hand, I am going to go back home, become Coda,
Yeah.
and then go to the university.
Okay.
Because that is what I did next last time. And I don't know what all you did.
Okay, so while that
Yeah.
happens,
Yeah.
do we want to split up? You go home and look at photos to see if they've changed. You go to the university since you've got university contacts and a key. And I'll go to an apartment because I'm real good at the apartment stuff.
Ringing the doorbell.
I made it work last time.
Also, yeah, if you don't
the
put on
doorbell.
your
He made the
mask, it
doorbell
might
work.
work.
I have papers to deliver. Can I see the papers? No.
That was my move last time.
Yep. That was the one.
No paper.
I'll give it to him. Yep.
Normally I'm against splitting the party, but maybe we want to split the
Oh,
party.
I'm way pro.
I'm way.
I'm always-
So into
I
I'm
know,
100%
right?
of the time into
Sorry.
splitting the party.
We're right now about to
Peace
split the
out,
party
all
4
of
ways,
you.
and I'm so excited
Yes,
about that.
I'm
Okay, so
super,
who's
super
who's
into it.
going where? Who wants to go first?
I'm going to the university.
We just did you.
Yeah.
So
So
Yeah.
we might want to. I think that we should, because you'll go to the university before you get there.
Correct.
Right.
So we
Yeah.
might want to go with you first. That way
It sets
we
the
go
scene for.
right. That way we go through all of us, and then when we get back around to Paul, he can meet back up with you at the university.
okay.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the university and I'm gonna go to his lab, like, because that was the thing that was out of place.
when you
so,
get to the university,
yeah,
everything is as it was before. His lab is gone. Everything's in its proper place.
Your office is back where it goes.
yeah.
Oh, like not
'Cause
weird.
Not
yeah.
weird.
and
Okay.
it just
No
like
VHS
feels
tapes.
normal.
Feels
Right.
normal. He
Okay.
doesn't
Yeah,
have an
they're-
office there.
They're all disk drives, not VHS tapes.
Okay.
No VHS.
Interesting. I think that, so I had said before, so this is a thing that you're gonna have to tell me if this is right or wrong.
Yep.
Before I had said that I probably have access to the computer drive where like the security footage is at. Now we have VHS tapes, so maybe that's not true. Maybe this is too outdated and I actually have to go to like the
No,
security.
you had
It's not
VHS
VHS
tapes
tapes.
before.
But
It's
here's the question:
drives
why would a professor with tenure also have access to security cameras of a school?
Well, I run a lab, so I at least have the access to my
For your
lab.
own
Well,
lab.
you could ask the security detail, like the people that work there. Hey, can I see the tapes for my lab?
Yeah.
Like, and they can show you. You don't have direct access.
Okay.
Is the time scale about the same as it was where it's now late evening?
But it is just after the funeral right
Okay,
now.
so before
like
there
it's
was more time passed. 'cause we
right.
had to
The
do with
sun's
funeral
not
stuff.
quite down because it's
This is
summer.
like late afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking probably around 6 or 7. So
Okay.
it's still
If
daylight.
okay, right.
Yes.
but
But
it's
like-
summer.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna try and ask the security guards if I can have the footage.
Like, yeah, I don't know why you need but sure, yeah. Should we show you?
Yeah.
Um,
I just want to look through it and see
and
if
he
there's
sits
anything.
sits down. He's like, okay, this one goes forward, this one goes back. You can scrub through this. I don't know if you've ever used anything like this before. The
I'm like, yep,
Handle
thanks.
high-tech equipment here.
scrub through footage of the past.
Yep,
That's-
yep. Fascinating. I can handle it, bud.
Right.
So I look through the footage and I'm trying to see if like I see him or anything weird. And specifically, it's all focused on my lab because that's where his office was before, but my office was across
Right.
the aisle
There's
hallway.
yeah, there is no double layered tapes. Everything looks normal. There has been no one in or out of that wing. Like, it's just being quiet the entire time. Yeah. Everything seems painfully normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do yet. I'm gonna wait for Coda to. I don't know that Coda's coming, so I'm.
But
just
you're
gonna
here
keep
for
looking
a
around.
while,
Yeah.
like going back and forth with this, and
Yeah.
like,
So when
Yeah.
we get around to Coda,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. Do you want to go here
I
first,
just
or
think
you
we
want to
would
do?
go to the house because that's where like you have a specific. I'm gonna go to the apartment and see what's up. You're gonna go to the house and look at a specific thing.
Sure. So I go back to the manor and I start rummaging through the same boxes that I did before.
Yes.
All the same footage, all that.
Okay. Give me an overcome for searching for stuff.
Awareness and I might have to take a D4 on the qualities for this one.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
3, 2, 2.
You want that major twist?
I mean, right now everything seems like it's real good. A little bit of twisting
Yeah.
will help us figure out some story stuff, maybe.
Okay.
I will almost always take the major twist.
Okay.
So yeah,
great.
let's do it.
So you find the same picture of your dad and
Burst into flame and burst the house.
yeah. Oh no, another fire! You find the same picture of your dad and Ultraviolent. They're like in civilian clothes, hanging out. You notice this time, however, that Ultraviolent has his hand in his pocket, and you see just like a little bit of glint of gold coming out of his pocket.
Is it the younger Ultraviolent or the?
Yeah, I mean, it was a picture of both of them when they were both younger.
Oh, okay.
Also, so, but just a little bit younger. But it is this version of him, yes.
Okay.
Yep,
With the gold, I assume gold thread coming out of his pocket.
maybe.
It was from a lot of
The
things.
balloons.
Yeah. He's just like,
Favorite treasure.
aha,
It's just a
pieces of
Tamagotchi.
8.
He's just got his
Treasure.
Tamagotchi
You just
in
need
there.
to go
Yeah,
hunting
remember
for
to
treasure.
Oh yeah, he got the
That's what
special
the
gold
Captain Jack
edition
Sparrow song was
Tamagotchi.
based
Yeah. He's like, you have to play with it every hour.
Right. Or it dies.
Right.
I want to double check and see if anything is different in the news as well, just to just cover my bases. Like, okay, this picture is definitely different. What else is different?
Everything else seems exactly as you remember it.
Okay. Any other pictures in the album different?
Nope.
Okay. Interesting. At this point, I guess I just take that photo and go to the. Did we set up any sort of like meeting place or? Just checking.
I gave you my cell phone number.
If you
I have a
if
business
you
card.
want
He's got a.
to retroactively
jitterbug.
say that
That's
you,
what I was
you-
gonna say.
No, I've got a real
Jitterbug.
cell phone. I've been awake and alive in this era for 15 years. I know how to use a cell
using
phone.
a BlackBerry. So
Yeah.
I miss my BlackBerry. If you want to say that you made a meeting plan retroactively, that's fine. Like I imagine that you did that, like that you
At the very least.
hammered out the logistics of everything a little bit better. But
What's our meeting plan?
We'll meet at the university.
Yeah.
okay,
I mean, it seems most efficient.
okay.
Okay, cool.
We give you
You.
some.
So I go to the apartment,
Yes.
and my hope is that now, since it's not middle of the night like it was last time when
Yeah.
we were here, that there's some like regular foot traffic in and out, and that I can just hang out, play it cool,
Yeah.
and walk in behind somebody else
Yeah.
because that's
Okay.
trivial in most apartment complexes.
Right. Yeah. You can do that.
Yeah. I'm
Easily.
an unassuming old man in a suit. Like,
If I can do that, you can do that.
Right.
Like that's yes.
So I do that, and I go up to the 12th floor, and I go to apartment number 1236, I believe it was. And it was either 1236 or 1263.
Yeah.
But anyway, EB remembers, and he goes to that apartment,
Yeah.
and I knock on the door.
A woman comes to the door.
Okay.
And she says, "Oh, can I help you?"
Yes, a friend of
So
mine.
she looks up like probably in her 40s or so.
Sure. A friend of mine, Professor Saderlin, told me he lived in this apartment complex, but I couldn't remember if it was 1263 or 1236. I'm so sorry.
She says, I'm sorry, I don't know anyone by that name. I know everyone on this floor. There's
Oh,
not
no.
any- Professor Saderlin.
Professor
I've never
Saderlin.
heard. I'm sorry, I've never heard of that.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
In my age, I forget things all the time. Thank you. I must have been in the wrong place entirely. I appreciate your kindness.
Oh, yes. Do you need help?
Likely, but I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
And I leave the apartment building and go to the university. That's kind of the thing that I expected to happen, but I wanted to be sure.
Okay.
And she didn't read. I looked at her and she didn't read to me as anything
Seem
non-standard.
like a normal person.
Yeah.
Yep.
So cool.
Yep. Okay. So all of you then, I guess, get to the university around the same time.
Well, at this point, you've been here for a while, but you went and did a task. I went and did a task. You've been doing a task. We all arrived at the university.
Okay.
And so the three of us are like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
So we go to Professor Saderlin's office.
Yeah. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, which is my lab.
Let's just
so-
walk in there.
Oh.
Wait a minute, hold on. This isn't Professor Sentinel's office
Everything's
at
normal
all.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
You're the villain.
I'm sitting. I turn around in my chair and I'm like, welcome. No, I'm
We
like,
should have guessed
did
with
destroy
the
the world.
mushrooms and the destroying of the world thing.
those mushrooms helped you.
I
You
helped
made-
them.
You made one a costume. No, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I looked through security footage. I know what you're thinking. This wasn't like this was where my lab was before, but I know you guys haven't seen my lab here. But like this is right. Like everything is right.
Oh, good. Then we've
And I'm
fixed
like,
it.
I'm like, this is a problem. Everything's right.
That's great.
Yeah, everything's fixed.
We solved it.
You all
We saved the day.
You all hear a big.
No.
Hero job over.
No,
No, we're good.
You'll hear a big crash.
No. Everything was solved.
Is it a terrible crash?
It's a terrible crash. Yes. There's
There's
supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom. Yeah, you hear a giant crash and some shouting coming back towards the entrance.
begrudgingly reach in my jacket and pull my mask and put it on. All right. Here we go again.
I get nervous the second it happens. I'm like,
That's the world. It's the sound of the world
Trust is
turning to
here.
ash. Yeah.
That's what it sounds like when a tree sucks all the nutrients out of the world.
don't joke about it, guys. It's very scary.
Did I get a chance to show them the photo before that happened, or is this all like we've appeared and there's a crash?
You had a chance to show them the photo,
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
I didn't know what the exact timing
So
of
that is still
was.
strange to you.
Yeah. Well,
So-
photo, gold thread,
Right.
gold, something gold.
Right, but that
shimmering out
existence of
his
that photo
pocket.
and stuff like that is all.
Yeah, so the,
That's-
Yeah.
the photo
So that's
existed
the
before,
rem-
but that is the thing that's different.
That's the
He's in a
remaining
different pose, different person.
Right, that's the
Now
remaining
they're
strangeness.
now they're kissing.
Yep.
It says kiss the chef, but
Yeah.
they're kissing on the cheek.
Um,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gross.
So
That's
are
cute.
you all going to investigate
Yes.
this crash? Yes.
I
okay.
am going to investigate this crash. I can speak for none others but myself.
Okay.
I also.
You all come to the front of this building, and the entire facade of the building is blown out in like a perfect circle.
Like the
Like the
band?
I don't know if that's necessary.
God, I quit.
No,
Quit.
no high fives.
I quit. I'm not doing this anymore. I work hard to tell this story for you.
Yep.
And Ultraviolent is there, and he looks furious, and he's like, he just says, "Where is he?" And smashes the ground, and there's a giant pulse of energy. You all take some damage. Hold on. Yeah, I have an ability here that I'm going to use.
He used the ability of GM. Damage.
Radiant.
I thought you were being sassy. Like I thought you said, "Could you use the ability?" GM, and I was like,
That.
"Wow." It's so early.
So all of you take 8 damage,
Nice.
and each of you have a -1 hinder on you.
All right, cool.
Do you have a steam factor?
And yes, you do. Yes.
Thank you.
Did I put it up here, or is it this one? It's this one. All right.
Is it a -1 hinder?
Yes.
Wow.
And you also feel when that hits you, you feel suddenly drained. All of your powers of D8 and up are 1 die size lower.
Cool. On the power side.
Yes.
All your powers.
Sweet.
Right.
Not any of your powers that are on the quality side.
Right.
Just your powers. that are-
Just the
So
powers.
from D8 and above.
Anything D8 and above is reduced by 1 die size. Yep.
Is that a challenge we can overcome? Or
It is a challenge you can overcome.
Okay.
So he is projecting some sort of energy field.
I think it's an ultra-violent energy field.
Yes, it is an ultraviolet energy field.
Ultraviolence.
Yeah, you can
Ultraviolet.
remove it with 3 successes.
Yes.
Yeah. Of trying to counter his powers. That was his turn.
Who's going to pass it to?
He wants to pass it to Floral Phantom.
I really want to talk with him.
too bad.
You can do that as part of an overcome or part of
Right,
an action
exactly.
during
That's
your
what,
turn.
right, exactly. That's what I want to do. I just
Yeah.
just thinking about the situation, like what I would do. Like,
Yeah, I think.
it seemed like he has like a half of a piece of a puzzle that we have the other half of.
Yeah.
Half's pretty large estimation, I would say.
I think he has 12% of a piece of a puzzle that we have 6% of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that might be more accurate.
Yeah, right. 2 points to the star. Yeah.
He has 2. Yeah.
He's 2 star points.
Oh yeah, we made up a
Right.
new star scale while you were gone. There's
Oh.
just a 1 star.
It's just 1 star.
But
And you get each point you can fill in.
That's
And the
nice.
question
the
is,
middle.
Yeah, the middle is the middle
So
separator.
it's a 6-point scale.
No, it's a 5-point scale with the middle.
With a middle, okay. With a hexagon.
because you can be. Oh, you know what? This one on the scale is middle and lower left.
or a pentagon.
This
I
one
guess
is middle
right.
and the top.
Yeah.
So it gives you
This
kind
one's
of
middle and right and
directional-
left, but not at the
Okay.
bottom.
Right. It's like
Interesting.
multi-directional rating. It's not
Oh
just
my
one
God.
dimension.
This is
Two dimensions.
We're
All right,
exhausting.
so
We're exhausted.
I am going to. So he just did like a big fist to the ground, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna like my vines are gonna shoot out instinctually, and it'll end up I'll be using
He's not close.
Well, we went out there, right?
Yeah, but he's at the end of the hall and he smashed the ground.
So there's the big front area.
Yeah.
He's right at the the atrium. He's right at the door.
Yeah.
There's a big hole there, and you just came out of the hall.
Right.
So you're in this room.
But
You
we're
can-
not at like melee range.
Right. No.
I'm not melee. Like my vines reach out.
Vicious vines.
You're probably, I would
the close
say,
range? Close enemy
between
I didn't
30
say
and
that I
40
was
feet
definitely
away,
using that.
I would guess.
Okay.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
Not
also
reacting?
no.
Oh, okay, okay.
I like the scene's on me, so I'm not reacting to
Okay,
this. I'm
okay.
just doing a thing.
All right.
Just doing
Yeah, I was like thinking about. I was looking at my powers. You're right, but I wasn't picking anything yet.
Abilities.
Abilities. I was also looking at my powers to decide what to do.
Abilities.
Okay, so I'm gonna just like. My reaction is to reach out and be like yank at his hand, like, and basically like make him fall, like.
No,
that's-
you're trying to make him fall off balance.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use plants and I don't know what quality. I don't think any of those qualities fit. Like my qualities, I don't think they fit for that
Yeah.
to just knock him off balance.
Sure.
So, but my plants are a D10 now,
Okay.
and I
So you use a D4 for your quality.
Yeah.
Yep.
two
2.
with a -1.
What is? Oh wow. Yeah. This is an overcome.
I guess it was. I thought it was an attack in my mind.
Oh, okay.
Because I was grabbing
Yeah,
at
so
him.
you got to
and
say at the
then-
beginning
Yeah, you have to
what
say what
action
type of
you're
action
taking.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It seems to you throw these vines out, and they lash around his hand, and just incinerate on touch. It's like it does nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna pass it to Riley.
He's 30 to 40 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Can I move toward him and attack in one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
A good rule of thumb, it's not like 100% set in stone, is if you can do it in one panel of a comic, you can do it in your turn.
Okay.
That's generally.
So I will. Yeah, I think this will work. I'll use Precise Strike, and I'm going to attack him.
Okay.
So I'm going to run down the hallway from where I am and just go at him with probably some sort of kick would be my guess. Like, I'm just going to get a lot of good momentum, but I have to get pretty far, so like I need to be able to kind of run and then kick to get the rest of the way to close in on him. Acrobatics 10, and so I'll use probably agility more than leaping, because it's just a hallway, right?
Well, you're at the edge of the hallway, but
Yeah.
so it's a big open room.
Yeah, it's an
There's a
open room.
staircase
Yeah.
in it going up to the, it's one of those staircases that has like a double wide up to a landing and then splits into two other staircases. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. trying to think if that's like in a proximity that would make sense for me to go to. I'm trying to figure out if I can logic my way into using leaping or not, but I think
Yeah, you
because
can use
it's,
leaping. Yeah,
Okay.
that's no problem.
All right.
'Cause especially if you're doing like a
When you
jump
said-
kick.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I was
Cool.
picturing.
Okay.
So.
yeah, you can like flip up onto the landing and
Right,
then leap
and then
off.
leap into.
yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't know in proximity to where stairs were,
You got
he
it.
was, or any of that. Cool.
Captain Kirk can leap every time you hit someone.
Yeah.
You can too.
And this is an attack.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you downgrade your stuff?
I did. It's attack using. This is my precise strike, so it's attack using acrobatics. Ignore all penalties on this attack. So. And ignore any defend actions, and it cannot be affected by reactions.
Okay, so you ignore your hinder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you should have a.
Does the hinder go away when she does that? Okay.
Instead of that
You just
huge
ignore.
wall
Okay.
For leaping?
Yes.
So
Thank
the
you.
leaping should be,
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And 10. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. If I attack using acrobatics, that's one of my d10s, right? So 6?
Well, acrobatics is in the die pool.
Yeah, it's
Just
in the
in
die
the die
pool. Yes,
pool.
you don't have
Cool.
to care which
Yeah.
way.
It's still a mid, so
Right.
it's still 6.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you do 6?
Yeah.
Okay. And that ignores defenses too, right? They can't
Yes.
take defend actions.
Ignore any defend actions. Cannot be affected by reactions.
Okay. Okay. Who is next? You can give it to the environment, or you can give it to one of your other players.
I know you had a plan. Like you
Me-
want to talk to him.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
So are people okay if we just start there before we all go one on him?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So I want to call out to him and be like, we just want to talk. What's like we've been investigating a serious, what seems like a serious temporal problem.
Yeah.
Can we take a pause and talk about it?
And
Like-
Ultraviolent doesn't recognize you as
Right,
the
exactly.
person that you
No
talked
one.
in the alley
Yeah.
because
Right.
you're completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do this as an overcome against the energy field?
So what I would like to
or-
do, so basically what I'm thinking of is, does it seem like if I like put some serious effort into it, I can actually convince Ultraviolent to stop fighting?
It seems very unlikely.
Right. Okay. So if that seems unlikely, I will say that, but then it seems like it's unlikely, so then
You
I'm
can
just
have a
going to...
conversation first and then
Right.
you do your action.
Exactly, that's what I'm
Right,
going to
yeah.
do. That's right.
So you can do some talking
Right, correct.
and then say, okay, fine,
Okay.
for my turn, here's my action.
That is precisely my plan.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to try to do.
Yeah.
Seems like it's not really working, so then...
Well, here's
as-
the question. What does he do or say in response? Like, does he have any response to this when Coda says those things?
He just says, "I'm not interested in talking to you.
All right. So,
I'm here to find someone, and I will find them no matter what.
right. Okay.
Who are you
But
going to find?
you're in my way, and
Yeah.
that's all that matters right now."
Okay.
So as an inherent, I'm going to remove my -1 hinder, my penalty.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to do, since I'm in the yellow zone right now, I'm going to do careful observation. And I'm going to boost myself using awareness and use my max die. So I'm going to use a D8 for awareness because it's downgraded. And then insight and yellow zone. And this will be not very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my reaction, retrospective creativity, to re-roll my die pool. I'm going to take 1 damage, but I'm going to re-roll my die pool. Let's try again.
3 instead of a 2.
For my max?
Oh, no. Sorry, are you using your max?
Yeah, I use my max when I
Oh, okay.
boost.
Well, then never mind,
Yeah.
you're at 9.
So then it's a 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that gives me a +3.
What was your power die that you used?
So the power die was awareness.
Which should be a D8
should be a D8.
because all of your
So
dice
right,
have to-
yes, exactly.
Okay.
And then I used my insight of a D10.
Because only
Which is
the
the
powers got
quality.
degraded,
Yeah.
not the
Only the
qualities?
powers.
Right.
Not
And
the
then I
powers.
used a D8
Okay.
of
good.
my status.
Okay.
Great.
Great. And then I roll this and I got a 9,
Yep.
and that gives me a +3 because I used my max die to boost myself using awareness, and then it's persistent and exclusive, so I have a +3.
Perfect.
Great.
All right. That is my turn, and then I want to give it to Bespoke.
Okay.
How about you give it to the environment so the environment doesn't go last?
Okay. I'll give it to the environment.
Okay. Let me check this off. which means we are now in the yellow zone.
I believe we were all in the yellow zone already.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you started with a big hit of 8 damage to everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not okay from that? Oh, okay. So you see that the initial attack has started cracks going along the sides of the buildings, and are starting to worry about the structure of this place. Bespoke.
All right, excellent. While all this is happening, there's been some vines, and there's some violence, and there's some yelling and all sorts of things. I am going to go to the edge of this energy field. There's this energy field you said is being projected from him, and I'm going to go and attempt to find the edge of this energy field. Not to be outside or anything. I understand that it's affecting me no matter what.
Right.
But I find like where this like this edge of it is, and attempt to like interact with the edge of it using the knowing needle to try to cut into it and reduce it. So I'm going to make an overcome against the thing. So
Go ahead.
Specifically using nonviolence. The knowing needle is reduced to a D8, but my insight is still a D10. And my
You're
dice.
doing your principle for that.
My principle
yes.
of nonviolence, right? Yes,
Yeah.
or of peace specifically.
Everyone get that hero point.
Right. And I am going to use the +1 that I have on this. So I'm using my hero point that I have from last time, so it's gone.
Okay.
I get this hero point. Okay, great. So I have +1. Oh, so the +1 here is just canceling out the -1 that I have.
Okay.
So that is what that does. And my max die is a 7. I wish I had a real +1. Oh well,
Okay.
I get a 7. It's a success with the minor twist.
Okay. Well, I thought that I saw a 7 on one of the dice.
It was a 7 on one of the dice, and I had a +1 and a -1.
Oh, the -1 also.
So
yeah.
thus I have a
Okay.
7.
Yep. Okay.
So I do.
You are able to shrink the energy field a bit. If it sort of wobbles and fluctuates in and out. You actually, though, in doing that, have a backlash of energy that comes across you, and one of your powers you can't use at all until this field is gone.
Do you want me to pick?
You can
want to pick?
You can pick. Yeah.
Okay. While the field is here,
I'm letting you pick which makes most sense.
Yeah. I mean, the thing, like, the gamey thing to do would be to pick my inventions, because I'm not actually doing that in any case right now. But I am actually going to pick my telepathy. That as long as this field is going on, my mind is like trapped in itself, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it is like, oh, I'm not able to that my awareness is limited.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. Is the top of the order. Who would you like to go?
I am going to pass it to Coda, who just boosted themselves, and so that way we can start making use of that immediately.
I think I'm going to really try really hard to take down that energy field.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's really, really bad.
Yeah.
And
So the other thing that happens as soon as this went to yellow now, your D8 powers are fine. Your D10 powers and above are reduced by 2
oh, okay.
instead.
But if they were D10 power, it was before their D8 powers, and so it's fine.
Right.
So it's only stuff that was a D12 at the very beginning that is still
My
affected.
D12 got.
Well,
What do you think that would be 10s at the beginning and now
D10s are now
D6s?
down to D6. They're reduced 2 die size.
Well, first, at the very beginning of this, when you made the
Yes.
energy field,
Right.
you reduced everything that was a D. So is this instead of what it was
Yes.
before?
Instead of what it was
Okay,
before.
instead of what it was are
Right.
great.
Instead of what it was before.
12s are now D8s. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
D12s are now D8s.
And
yeah.
D10s are now D6s.
Right.
Right.
But D8s are D8s.
Yep.
My
Okay.
D6 is the D6.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Or D4s are D4s.
Right.
D12s or D8s.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Yeah. The important thing to note is that this is not on top of what it was before.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is a new effect.
This is a new
Gotcha.
effect.
I was making
Yeah.
it cumulative.
Right.
and it
Nope.
was gonna-
Your
Right,
D8
that's what we were
sorry,
saying.
I thought I made that clear,
Yeah,
but
the way you phrased
yeah.
it sounded like it was cumulative, which is why I was.
D8s are
Yeah,
fine.
cool.
D10 and above are reduced by 2 die sizes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
So here, I really want to get out of the situation, which is very dangerous
Yeah.
and bad. And so I'm going to try to get rid of this energy field. I know that my friends will be able to help combat ultraviolent, and then we can hopefully all escape with our lives and be safe. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use my principle of self-preservation
Okay.
to use an overcome to get myself out of immediate danger.
Oh, okay.
And
You're
so,
just going to book it.
yeah, no, I mean, but getting out of immediate danger involves getting that field down.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
So I want to do, and I want to use my intuition to try to figure out how exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Deduction probably. It doesn't really mechanically make a difference, but deduction I think is actually.
All right, I have I have something. You can go ahead.
Deduction, and then I'm going to use my insight and my yellow zone to try to do this. Overcome.
When he said he had something, were you immediately just like,
And I've got a
that
plus
doesn't seem
3,
good?
and I use my max, so I get a 12.
Okay, great. Do you know how you do this? Or,
Yeah, so-
because
12
I
is,
like
12
Yeah.
is overwhelming
Yeah,
success.
yeah.
It says
Right,
success
exactly.
with extra benefit.
right. Do you know how you
Right.
execute what
Yes,
you're trying
absolutely.
to do?
So I'm looking around at the energy field that's going on, and I spent my entire last turn talking to him and then
Yeah.
observing how he works and things
Right.
like that. And I have very limited psychic abilities as well.
Okay.
Like, and it's kind of decent actually. It's the post-cognition and stuff like that I've got going on.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to try to figure out exactly how this supernatural kind of power stuff is working.
Yeah.
And as soon as I figure out, I have the insight figuring out that he's like the complex dynamics that only I can sense with my kind of third senses of how he's pushing this out and things like that. And I realize that I can kind of push back on that
Okay.
and get it so that his focus is broken a little bit of maintaining this field.
Great. Yeah. So it actually takes the field down entirely. You get 2 successes on that because of,
These powers are.
yeah. So everyone's powers are back to normal.
Except for me, I don't. Oh no, and even my telepathy, I have access to.
It's back.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Oh, 'cause it was tied
it
to
was
that.
until
Tied to
the
the
shield
thing.
was gone. Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Cool.
Yep.
And with that,
And everyone
yeah.
should have gotten the hero point for that, right?
oh yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
And if you want to give it back to me, I will boost everyone. Or
Oh,
boost-
sounds good.
boost it
Yes,
for the
absolutely.
rest
Yes,
of
I'll
the
give it back to you then.
turn. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. We'll get
Um,
all of the boosts on these.
Yep,
people
that's correct.
with it.
I still have it on my Suntinder because I ignored it last time.
No, I
right?
used it up. It tried to. Well. No, it tried to
No,
apply.
it gets rid of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it uses it, but
It just ignores it.
it ignores it.
It
yeah.
ignores the effect of it,
Right.
but not the existence of it. Okay, so I am with the field having gone down. My awareness is back, and like he is operating with some of the same extra temporal, extra realistic sort of situations that we've been dealing with recently. And so draw on your time in the loom when attacking him, and that will help you as the advice that I give you when putting together this die pool and giving you a +3 to your next action and giving you a +1 to your next action. Mm-hmm. Look, I'm an old man. I speak in cryptic puzzles, okay?
I know. That's what my brain was just like, old man speaks in riddles.
Yeah.
Great.
It's not a riddle. It's just facts. Just the facts, man.
Who is next?
The environment.
The environment. So some security guards run out of the top hallway,
Yeah.
and they're standing there.
Machine guns, apparently.
Yeah, they're like, what?
What the heck, university?
Yeah. They load the chain into the thing.
Clayton City.
Yeah,
It's a dangerous area.
it's a rough town. Rough town.
That's not true.
No,
You just had a funeral with like
no, they don't even have guns. They're
Not that many.
college security.
They have rolled a quarter to call
Right,
real cops.
they're like, yeah, this is their quarters. They're like, there's 2 of them. Yeah.
They're like throwing them.
Those are
Chucking.
painful.
Yeah. It'll hurt you.
Yeah, so they run out there, and one of them gets on their walkie-talkie and starts radioing the police. But the balcony starts to crumble underneath them, and they fall and they're like holding on to it.
And they went from having assault rifles to falling off a balcony.
Yeah.
Downhill for them.
Gatling guns kept falling off.
It's just been coordinated together.
Right, that's why.
They crumbled, the Gatling guns are gone, and now they're falling off.
Okay. Easy thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So then this is going to pass it to Floor Vendom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go for the security guards.
Yeah, just kill him. Regular people
Whoa.
crazy.
Just like,
Yeah, just like put
I'm
all your
like,
entire exposure with humanoid beings is
I'm just like,
Here's why I think that maybe you don't. Is you have a
like
plus
cats
3 to this
cradle with their
action,
innards.
yeah.
and like
Okay.
Does she have a +3? Does she?
I have a +3, yeah.
she has a plus
You
3,
have
she has a +1.
Cool, cool,
Okay,
cool.
that's fair.
Just getting rid of a simple overcome is
That's
you
true.
don't usually need a +3 for that.
Yeah, unless you want to get multiple at once.
Right.
Which
right.
is, yeah.
Okay. So this one is just on my next action.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
It's not a save up. Because usually you can choose.
No, it's true. I give you a boost the next time you're interacting with him in some way. So if
Yeah.
you want to hang on to it for later and just deal with the security
Yeah.
guards and use that +3 some other time, that's fair too.
That's true. Yeah.
You do what
If
you
you
want.
want to interact with them, that's fine, and get them out of the way.
Yeah, I just had an idea.
Yeah, do
Okay,
it.
then do
Do
it.
it. Do the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be plants, and I'm gonna try for leadership, like just taking
Yeah,
charge
you're
of.
like, hey,
yeah.
come on,
And I'm gonna
slide
try
down the
and,
plants.
yeah, I'm gonna try and do something with vines.
Yeah.
Like basically, like either they can slide down it, or I maybe grab them up with it. Either way.
Okay.
Which
so,
one? Describe what you're doing.
I kind of like the idea that they slide down them.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's fine.
So like
You,
I
like,
just like
ma- Make
Just
a
put it up like a
fireman's
rope,
pole.
and they can like fling whatever over, slide down.
exactly like because I can do like things where I bring plants out of the ground too. So it's instead of it being like my arm extended and they're sliding down it, which seems very cumbersome and inconvenient to me. It is something coming out of the ground, and so they just like can land on the ground safely.
You don't have to detach any body parts or.
Yeah, I mean, if you want,
Nope. No one was.
it's a 5 as my
5.
mid.
Okay. Yeah. So you save the guards.
Nice.
In doing that, your vines slide up the side of the thing, the stairway, the balcony. As they slide down it, though, it crumbles behind them, and the building is actually coming down a little harder. And we're advancing the scene tracker by 1
Okay, that makes sense.
because the structure is compromised.
I pass it to Riley. Ricey.
Do it, Ricey.
I want to see this famous. Oh yeah, Racy.
Your L's a little too
I like that you look at it upside down to see how it looks.
Well, because if it really looks like a C, then it won't matter that I flip it upside down.
Did it matter?
It doesn't look like a C upside down, so yes. It must be an L.
Those are the two options. Is it two like a C? No, it's an L.
Literally everything in the universe.
Is it a C? It's an L.
When it's
goes
upside
in
down.
the middle of the
Only
star.
upside down.
It's the one
That makes all of our names really terrible upside down.
No, because mine is a C.
Yeah.
Mine-
What you got?
I might go for it, if that's okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
you do you.
Do it.
Heat it up.
Do
Do it.
You don't have to ask my permission.
Do it.
So, based on everything that has just happened, as far as like everything that we've gone through in the past, how
Well,
long has
how-
it been now?
I
2
mean,
days.
A couple
because we're
hours.
back at the beginning again.
Yeah,
It was like
But I mean,
it was a
like-
full day, pretty
Yeah.
much. It was most of a day, but then we were wound back. So now it's only been a few hours.
I feel like 2 days ish. We're in day 2.
I've been forced to relive my past that I did not want to think about again, and now one of the main villains of my father is here and causing a ruckus, and
Because exactly one rock is happening.
and I like the first time I saw him, I didn't trust him at all. I didn't get a chance to do anything about it, and now he's right back in my face. He's in my purview. Everything's going on. I feel like I am definitely starting to lose my grip on a lot of the self-control that I have spent time building up. I'm going to use offensive strike and do an attack. So I'm going to use close combat because I feel like I'm close enough now.
Yeah, you're
Right?
right up on
Okay.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So close combat. So it's going to be a D10. We're in yellow, so it's going to be a D8. And I will use my fire ability.
Ooh, fire.
Yeah.
And you have a +1. Which is good.
Thank goodness.
Because...
Well, you're rusty. That's all.
That's okay. I used offensive strike, so I get to use my max die.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
And what's your max die?
It's a 7, and I have a +1.
You rolled a 1,
Okay.
a 2, and a
So
7.
you got an 8.
So I get an
Yeah.
8.
Um,
So I'm finally losing control
So
over.
how do you use fire? What does that look like?
So I actually have, in the accident where my brother died, it was caused by things happened in the lab. So basically, enemies came in and caused a scene. It led to destruction in the room, the training room that my brother and I were in. My mom was in the lab nearby. And so in causing damage to those, she tried to seal off the lab, and there was still an explosion, and it bled in, and she was working on stuff in the lab because she was working on like some new technology and things were going on in the lab. And in doing so, in trying to save my brother, I wasn't able to pull him out from the fire through the doors before the doors shut, but my arm was still in the door trying to grab him out. And so my arm actually caught on fire and glowed, and I pulled it out and wasn't able to get him out. And I was imbued with powers of fire,
So the experiment stuff.
from the experiment. But I refused, and yeah. So I wrap it. I constantly either wear long sleeves or I wrap it when I'm training or whatever,
Yeah.
so that no one can see the scars or anything.
So
and
when
then
you
I
do
spent
this,
my life
when,
training
when you
to not
do
use
this
it.
fire punch, does it
Yep.
burn the bandages off too?
Probably at this point, yeah.
All right, so everyone sees that.
Yep.
That is sweet.
Yep.
So he's actually trying to defend against that. He has a reaction. He only blocks 2 of it, so.
So you get 6 throw.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is next?
There's only one option. It's him.
Okay. Yep. Sorry, I didn't notice the delayed flip. Yep.
So he looks very surprised by you because he knows who you are.
Spoilers.
Yeah. So he's shocked that you have this ability. And he
It's not started around yet.
he's going to use this ability.
Yeah, it's gone.
Hinder using illusions. And imposing and
Ow. No.
What?
We don't talk about them.
ooh, okay. So he hinders you for -3.
Nickelback 2.
Yeah. And deals you 3 damage. And what he does is he lifts up, he looks like he's going to punch like that, and then he like sort of shimmers and disappears, and he's behind you, and he hits you like in the kidney from behind.
Oh yeah.
This has made you look.
Oh.
Yeah.
This and this big dude, and I imagine his voice is very deep, made you look.
Yeah.
Fell for it, sucker.
You're like, it's
Yeah.
I just blasted you with fire.
made you look.
All right.
And
it's the end of the round.
yeah, top of the order, he's going to give it to the environment.
Yeah.
Right, so I just checked off environment box. We're now
So
in the red zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything looks like it's coming down. Like large sections of the school are probably going to collapse. There's going to be pretty catastrophic damage here.
Sure.
He is now going to he's going to let off an energy pulse again.
Oh no.
Yeah. So he's going to use D12 for that, D8 for that, and he always has a D8. So he gets everyone takes 7 damage.
Perfect.
And has a -2 hinder.
That's fine.
Yep. And Coda, it is your turn.
All right. So I am going to, at the start of my turn, remove that -2 penalty. So yeah, so I'm going to remove that, and then I am going to do insightful observation, and I'm going to boost everyone else
Okay.
using postcognition, just like looking at the situation.
Everybody's got hinders. That means that when you get a boost, you don't keep stacks of boosts and stacks of hinders separately. When you get a boost, it'll remove that thing. You don't actually. The thing doesn't happen to you. Your +3, which is persistent exclusive, is now a +1 persistent exclusive. The boost eats away at it.
Oh, does it?
That's
Forever?
that's the way that
Okay.
that's the way that villains and heroes can work with
Cool.
each other. Like if a villain has a persistent exclusive boost, and you're like, what
Sure.
do we do about this? You hinder him, it chews away. So
Cool.
you don't have that on you. You don't have the -2 on you. It just chops off
Sweet.
your +3.
Sweet.
So if anybody had any boosts, they would have been chopped away by that -2 that everybody got.
So I have
Um,
my +1 now.
Because you had a +3.
Yeah.
Yes, that I gave
Okay.
you. So now you only have a +1.
Okay, just making sure.
So now I'm going to do the insightful observation,
Right.
which is but this is going to apply the bonus to all hero attack and overcome actions.
So it's only for attack and overcome actions.
Right,
So,
exactly.
So that doesn't apply in the same way.
Okay.
Because essentially what you're doing is you're not giving everybody
Right,
a boost
exactly.
bonus.
I'm
You're
just
not
giving
saying-
it, like, at
you're,
a-
you're putting a thing on the table that's like there is this permanent.
Right. But if
For
you're
attack
like,
and
I'm going to do an attack and overcome action,
Right.
right?
Then you can
I'm
use-
going
you
to
can
now
interact with
use this hinder as well as the boost that I have there, and they
Right.
cancel each other out in that particular situation.
It depends on what the values of them, but yes.
Right, exactly. Or they interact with
They interact
like
with
math.
each other. Right. Yeah.
Right, they mathematically interact.
Right.
Great. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to boost using postcognition, which is a D8, and then I'm going to use my insight and the red zone die. There we go. And my mid is an
Nice.
8,
Nice, very
which
nice.
is a
It's
9.
a plus-
Technically, but
regardless,
it's all
it's a
the
plus
same.
3.
But a +3. So until the start of my next turn, anyone who does an attack or an overcome gets a +3.
Any hero that doesn't attack or
Any hero.
overcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, good guys who do that.
Oh, you said I could do it?
Right, exactly.
It's too late, you said.
+3.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
But no, that doesn't do the thing for reasons I just explained. That's not being given to you. It is this floating +3 for any hero that does an attack or overcome action. You have a -3 on you that's just on you. It's yours, it's personal to you. This is not that thing.
So if you do it, but if you do,
If you take it right,
effectively, what Jen did is going to wind up being
but it's
correct.
it's important. Nope, it's important that it's not that because of what I do on my turn, which should be next.
Okay.
Because of how I interact with boosts and overcomes, and the fact that I am the person that does that and manipulates those,
Cool.
it requires that people play by the rules of the game as written.
Okay.
Right. So, so if you would let me go next, I can manipulate things very
I
nicely.
will. You good.
Thank you. Thank you. First off, does anybody have any negatives on them that are still? Because we're in the red zone now, so things get real gross.
I have 5, a total of 5. Like hinder, I have a -3 and a -2.
Right, cool. So I'll just remove, because you don't have a 5, you have a -3 and a -2. It's important to note.
Right.
I will remove the -2 just as inherent at the start of my turn. I just remove the -2, it's gone. And then for my action, I will turn the -3 into a +3.
Okay.
So the -2 doesn't exist, the +3 you have, and separately than that, Coda has put a +3 on the table for anyone who is attacking or overcoming.
So you can use +6
Right.
for an attack or overcome.
Exactly.
Or +3 for something else.
Yes. I mess with the fabric of reality and do these various things, and that's that. And with that, I am going to pass it to the environment. Oh no, both
the
the
environment's
environment
gone,
and
both- yeah, correct.
sorry, there's nothing that notes that they're gone because you're not doing anything. So so in that case, I'll just pass it to. Do either of you have a plan?
Yeah, I'm just gonna fight it. Like I'm just gonna use one of my attacks.
You are
So-
we're
red
in the red
zone.
zone also.
Yeah, no, I know. So I was thinking about making minions, but it
Okay.
seems like it's going too fast.
Okay, think about that. Your
Yeah,
next
so-
action, Riley, you go.
Okay, that's fine. I was gonna let her go so that she could use the +3 since I already have.
You both can use the +3. It's for
Yeah,
both of you.
it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to, I'm also going to attack. So I'll use inflict. So I will attack using fire and hinder that same target using my men die.
Nice.
Okay.
Like I think at this point, the secret's out, I'm a little bit out of control, so I'm going to keep going with some more fire.
Great. And so you have the +3 that you used to have that was a -3 that I
Yep.
turned into a +3. That one is a boost that's on you that you can use on any one of your effect dice. You have 2 effect dice on this roll. The min and the mid are both effect dice. The +3 that Coda it had put out on the table is only for attacks. So you couldn't possibly use Coda's +3 on the hinder, but you could use the +3 I gave you for the hinder or the attack. Do you see what I'm saying? This is the difference between those two boosts. Does that make sense?
Attacking with the fire, and then you're hindering.
And so you have to apply the +3 to the attack, and then the +3 that I did for you, you can apply to either one, your choice, but not both.
So the mid of that is
6.
yeah, a 6. So obviously 1 + 3 will go to that 6.
Well, yeah, 1 + 3 has to go to the 6,
Right.
and then you can choose if you want
And
the other
then
+3 to go to the 6 or the 5.
hinder is the min, which is a 5.
Right. So if you put a 3 on that,
I'm
it'll
gonna
become
do
an
the same
H,
attack.
which means that it would be a -3. But if you put it instead on the
It's 3-1.
3, then it's 12 damage.
Right.
So
I'm gonna do the same attack, so I think you should, in my opinion, is to like do the damage, and
That's
I'll
kind
do
of
a
what I'm
hinder.
thinking. And
Yeah.
I think it's more thematically probably accurate. That
maybe whatever you want.
yeah. So we'll add it to that, so it'd be 12. And then the 5 will go against the hinder.
Okay, so he's -2.
Crispy.
Yeah.
All right. So how does that attack play out? What do you do?
So let's see here. I'm already kind of close to, well, he was behind me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So I will quickly like turn around so that I am facing him again. Come around, and as I do so, I would instinctively go to throw a punch. Like
Yeah.
that's my training. That's what I would do.
Right.
But because I'm out of control at this point, like when I go to throw a punch, it's going to be a punch, and there's fire and flames kind of coming out at the same time
Right.
that goes at him and knocks him back. And I think the hinder is probably coming from the fact that like not only did I just clock him pretty good,
Yeah.
but he's also like, and there's fire, and why is there fire? Why do you
Yeah,
have power?
and you
Like he's
sent
just
him-
pretty dazed and confused, along with the fact that I just
Right.
power punched him a pretty good distance.
Yeah, and you sent him flying back, and he hits the what's left of the stairs, and just goes into them, and crunches them down. And so like there's that circular impact
Yeah.
look there.
Like a bowling
Nice.
ball. Like a real smooth bowling ball.
Yeah.
Real mature. Who is next?
Pretty sure it has to be me, right?
I think you're the only one left.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I am going to do rooted, which works the exact in a similar way to inflict its attack using plants, hinder the same target with my min, and so I'm going to roll the dice and then I'll explain what happens. I
Okay.
think. So a 7 is my mid,
Nice.
and I'm going to apply the +3 from Coda to that, so that makes it a 10.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to apply the +1 to, yeah, that's the right thing to do, right? Okay, I'm going to apply the +1 to my min, which is also a 7, to make it a +8, or
Okay.
to make it an 8.
Which is a +3.
So
Yeah.
it's -3.
-3 hinder.
Yeah. So,
So,
we have a -2 and a -3 on him.
yep, and then I do 8 damage.
8 damage.
Not
No,
8,
you-
10 damage.
10 damage.
I'm bad at math. So what happens is, so I used rooted, and instead of, usually when I use rooted, I root myself into place and
Yeah.
then do a really heavy hit, but this time I used sunflower roots around him because they absorb radiation,
Oh.
and
okay.
he's using UV
Yeah.
right now. Like we learned that. So I use science for my quality.
What's in his name also?
Yeah, it's also in his, it's in his name, but like you met, like
You spelled it wrong.
Oh.
yeah, it's, I wasn't sure because it was ultra violence, and I was like, well, maybe he's into wrestling. And anyways, so not only did I shoot out and hit him with vines, but I also rooted him into place with sunflower roots, which will absorb radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that one.
Great. Who is next? This is the top of the order.
Top of the order.
Give it to anyone, including him.
He doesn't need
You want him to go?
Not
He
yet,
can.
He
He can
doesn't
go
get
right now.
Because at 2, you can fight again
but
before
you
any
guys
of them
could
go.
We could
boost
him
us
before he
first.
goes.
Then don't give it
Don't
to
give it
me.
to Riley.
You're boosted already because
All right,
of
don't give it to Coda.
Oh,
because Coda's
Coda
Until
oh,
my
'cause
turn,
it'll
right?
go
Yeah,
away.
that'll
The,
keep-
the
that'll
let's do
boost stays.
beast.
Yeah.
Bespoke? Is that what you want to do?
bespoke. Yes.
Bespoke.
Yeah, I like you always pronounce it bespoke.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Bespoke.
be out of spoke.
All right. First off, does anybody have any negatives on them? Does anybody have
No.
any lingering negatives?
I
Oh,
do.
you
yeah.
do?
Yeah. Ultraviolet.
I could
does.
just get. I could just.
You want to turn this to positives?
I could just. Yeah. I could
That's-
just.
That'd be
switch
great.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could.
Just switch that.
Okay. Okay. So instead, I'm gonna. So I'm going to, because I am in the single-digit healths. I'm going to specifically hinder him, but when I hinder him, I'm also going to use a basic action with my mid, with my common thread inherent ability, because we're in the red zone, and so we get to have extra fun. And I'm specifically going to use Vigilante lore, knowing about the ways that heroes have fought against him, specifically Rhyme has fought against him in the past. Because my goal here is not to fight him, it's to make him remember, because he seems afflicted in some way by something, like something is getting at him here, and I want him to take a moment and think about his past.
Okay.
And that's the hinder that I'm attempting here. My red zone die is just a measly d6, but everything else seems real good. So I'm going to hinder him with my mid. I'm going to recover health equal to my min die, and I'm also going to take a basic action with my mid, and that basic action is going to be a boost for Riley, because when I'm fighting him and reminding him about his past, I'm also reminding her about the way that Rhyme fought her. So here we go. My min is a 2, so I gain 2 health. My mid is a 4, so I hinder him for a -1, and I give you a +1. A lot of description for very little effect, but those effects are nice. There's something.
Currently has -6 total.
Yeah, right. By the time he acts, he'll just kind of stump around. Stump up, and get down.
Riley's
From
turn.
a song.
I do know the
Okay.
song. It was in
But
Mrs.
it's, the words
Doubtfire.
actually jump.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's not
jump
stump.
up, jump up,
Stump,
and get down.
stump,
Right.
stump,
That's
stump, stump.
Yeah.
Riley, it's your turn.
What's up? What's up?
I would.
You haven't gotten it.
Oh.
I'm really liking the fact that we're just stacking hinders.
No, I was the last
No, she
one on
was
the
the
last
last
round.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and then went to you.
Yeah. I like the fact that we're stacking a bunch of hinders.
The band.
Yes. Over and over. So I
Good.
would like to do that again.
Okay.
Seems to be pretty effective.
You're using the same inflict ability?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So I will inflict. I will attack using fire, and then hinder that same target using your min die. So I have the +1
You still have the
from Christopher.
+3 from
the +3 that's floating out there.
It's from Bespoke. Bespoke.
Sorry. From
Bespoke.
Bespoke. And I would also like to use my +1 for my hero points that I haven't used yet.
Right.
If anybody has any hero points, I suggest using them.
Oh, yeah.
So fire, D8, red, D6. Close combat. Good.
Amazing.
I should have done offensive strike so I could use my max die, but I didn't. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7?
Ugh.
All right. And the hinder?
Goes off my min, and that's only a 1.
Okay, so it's another -1 though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I get up close to him again, and then I just kind of like get in and go like with my elbow
Yeah. Well, he's like
right in because he's already kind of impacted
he's
anyway.
embedded in the staircase and has vines and roots around him.
Yeah.
So he like can't move. He's struggling against that, and you're just pummeling
Yeah,
on him
pretty much.
with your fire and your
Yeah.
fists. Yeah. Who's next?
Because it's so much cooler.
Can I get
Should
spoke?
have used offensive strike.
I like it.
Unless we want
neither
this
the
to-
environment nor
Oh, we'll get him.
No, we'll get him. I think go for
Okay.
plans.
Okay. Cool. Plants.
I was trying to be. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm also going to continue to do rooted. So attack using plants, hinder the same target. So it's going to be a similar attack as before. Just like 1-2 punch with vines.
okay.
Really like hold him in place. Like I'm probably now, since he's like on his back, now the vines are wrapping around him. They're trying to, so
Like constricting.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that and D8. Oh, I was gonna use my hero points. I didn't look at them. If that counts, I closed my eyes.
Definitely doesn't matter.
Boy, that's
That was a
not
roll too.
Yeah.
So it was it's a 1 + 3 from Coda, so it's a 4, and then a hinder for 1.
I mean, 1's a 1.
All right.
So he's got another -1 hinder on him.
Yep. I got it.
Yeah.
Who's up?
There are 3 options.
Environment. Ultraviolent. Coda.
Should I pick?
Well, at this point, you didn't take Ultraviolent down,
Yeah.
so I would give it to him.
You are
Yeah.
not close.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
so you
gonna.
know.
I'm gonna. Yeah. I'll give it to him.
He still looks pretty tough.
Yeah. I'll give it to him.
Okay. So, he is going to, attack you. He doesn't like these vines.
He's got a -2 and a -3 and 3 -1s, I believe.
Yes,
He has
yes,
a -8
yes,
to
he
his
does.
attack. So
Well, he's going to use his made you look ability. So he's going to like shimmer out of there and be behind you and then blast you with some energy. But it's probably not going to do a whole lot. So
and the people that made the penalties, whoever it usually doesn't come up because the characters have agency. But people, whenever there's a question of like, oh wait, where
which
does
does this
these
apply to?
It's people who made the mod get to decide. So we can decide what goes to the attack and what goes to the hinder.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So right now, you are the max die is the hinder, so that's a 7 right now. So that would be a plus or a minus two
right.
to you, and then the attack is a 9.
Okay.
And I have a 2, 3, 1, 1, 1.
Just I would say just let all of the negatives go to the attack. Let the hinder happen, and I will take care of
5,
it.
6, 7, 8. So you take 1 damage, and
A hinder
have
of
a -2. Yep.
But don't worry about the -2.
Yep.
I got you. This is my thing. It's the one thing I do.
And then he's going to
Let me get
give
that
it
down.
to Coda.
Okay, cool.
All right.
And the
Environment is not gone yet.
right.
Right. So my bonus there ends, but that was pretty good. I am.
And you still have your persistent +1.
Right, I do, exactly. I think that I'm going to do insightful observation again.
Okay.
Because I've got some other reactions that I can do, but if the right thing comes up, but I like
Insightful observation is what creates the
general
attack
bonus for everybody.
Right.
Right.
But it's not a general bonus. It's an attack or overcome bonus.
Right, the attacker will come bonus.
Right.
Pretty cool. Although I'm right at the end, and if I wind up going first at the beginning, it doesn't really do anything.
And there's a good chance you will go
Right,
first.
exactly.
You have to pass
If
it
he
to the
can-
environment after
exactly.
this.
Who might then just pass it back to me.
Yeah.
So in that case, it wouldn't necessarily do anything. So, given that and other things, I think that I will do careful observation to boost myself again and replace this +1 bonus with a hopefully higher bonus.
Sure.
And so I have to, in order to do that, I've got to boost myself using postcognition and insight and 10. And I'm going to apply that obviously. And I don't have any hero points left. And that will be a 5. So that's a 6.
+2.
So +2. So now have that be a +2 now. Cool, and then I will give it to the environment.
Okay. So
it's a new round now?
yeah, so it is a new round now. The floor is starting to crack, and it's become clear at this point that there are sub-levels to this building. If you knew that there were, as it was, but you're in danger of seeing those soon.
Yeah. I'm shocked their sublevels like a basement in this day and age? Irresponsible. Don't they know this is a floodplain?
This is a fault line. Yeah, it's a floodplain. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is going to pass back to. Oh, these are all gone.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is going to pass back to Ultraviolent.
An unhindered ultraviolent.
Yeah. Who
The likes of which we have never seen.
who is going to attack Riley.
Seems fair.
Yeah. you're like the primary foe to him right now. Like other stuff are going on, but like you're up in his grill and
Yeah.
shooting fire in his face, and he don't like that.
Up in his grill.
He's not a fan. Yeah, that's
He
grill
was.
me
He
in
could
his
blow out the
face.
fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's something from when we were young. Yeah.
It's. Wow, I did not know. That one I didn't know the date of which
Yeah.
it was around.
Yeah, but he's going to do his same made you look thing. He's going to shimmer around you
Yep.
a few places
And
and
just
do
fire
just
to
like a
keep
few
it.
small hits.
Yeah.
And so that is 10 and 8 and 8. So he hinders you to the tune of -3 and deals you 9 damage.
Hold on.
I'm going to react to that. Yeah. You're going to react?
Do you ever react as a defense for her?
Yeah.
Okay, so do I.
Sweet.
Is it the same?
I mean, who knows?
I mean, it's like I just roll a die to specifically hinder those before before they play.
Do that first then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to hinder the damage.
Yeah, hinder the damage.
Hinder the damage, for
Yeah,
sure.
because
Yeah.
Okay.
It's easier to deal with the other stuff. So
Yeah.
just using my recognition die. So 8.
So it means you have -3 to the damage.
Okay, so that takes it down to 6.
So now the 6 is what's coming at her,
Yeah.
and I don't hinder it. I just defend her.
Okay.
So I step in front and I cut a fold through time, and the attack happens, or fold in space, and so
Yeah.
the attack happens at a different distance than he intended it. And I reduce that 6 attack by 6.
Oh,
So you take no damage at all, but you still have the -3
so
hinder.
yeah, he teleports around you a few times and throws his punches, and you think, oh, this is going to hurt a whole lot, but for some reason they miss you.
They never
and,
miss
like,
you.
yeah.
You're just like, oh yeah, oh,
And so you get -3 for flinching, but don't worry.
Right.
you're spooked.
The party construction advantage of having 2 utility characters who don't fight is that they do every other possible thing you can do in
Yeah.
this system.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Neither of us are healers.
that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
That's good.
Yeah.
Riley, your turn.
I can heal myself, but not other people.
Right.
What's up,
I wouldn't call that a healer, though. You
It's
know.
not really.
Right.
Well, when we were debating all this, I was looking at my reactions as well. And I have Reflexive Burst. When you're attacked at close range for the first time in a
Yeah.
scene, attack all close enemy targets by rolling your single agility die.
So you could have done that. Like,
I'll still let you.
I mean, like, it-
nothing has happened
there's
since
not like
that attack.
I said it's your turn, so it's too late. Like,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that would be part of his
His turn.
action, and
Yeah.
then
And
I
you
would
still get
get.
your turn.
Okay.
And then you get your reaction back.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
You'll still have the -3 to that attack because you did
Sure.
get it first.
Yep.
So.
Okay. And so I would just roll my agility die
Yep.
for this.
Yep.
So
And you have -3, and then the -3 will go away as a result.
yeah, it's probably not gonna do much, but it gets rid of the
It does
-3.
8, so 5 damage gets
Yeah.
through on him, and that -3 goes away. There you go.
And then you would pass it to me, and it would be my turn. That's really good. I'm glad I didn't take any of that damage. I'm going to go for offensive
Yeah.
strike this time, so I can use my max die.
Yeah. That's way better.
Yep.
Do it.
I'm not worried about hindering him at this point.
Do you have any hero points?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I used it.
Good.
Has everyone used all their hero points?
Nope.
No, I haven't used mine.
Oh. Okay. 2 of you still have them. Saving them for a
No.
rainy
I
day.
used mine right off the bat when I said nope. I was talking about
Oh.
Maggie.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
that
only
was-
each had 1 hero point for
Right.
this thing.
Yeah. That was last round when I was like,
And you just did stuff for yourself. You didn't
Yeah,
do the
there's
group.
no-
Yep.
Correct.
All right, so I get to use my max die, which is a 6.
Okay. He is defending against that.
For the reaction.
Yeah, as a reaction. So radiant. So he blocks all of it, and because it reduced it to 0, he actually boosts by the amount prevented. So he gets a +2 from your attack.
He sure does.
Okay.
Now, if you want
Ooh.
to pass it to me.
Now these 2 have already gone in this round. They started the round out.
Right.
This is already gone. This is not. This one at the end of last
end of it.
round
Okay.
sent it to
Yeah.
him,
Okay.
and I have not given it back to this.
Okay.
Yep.
So my plan is if you give it to me, I'll give everyone a boost again, and then I'll pass it to the environment, so that it gets it out of the way, and then you can all go.
No, you should do is you give it to you should give it to me, because if you give it to the environment will give it to her before I can boost her.
Sure.
So you should give it to me. I will give it to the environment. Environment can't do anything but give it to her because she'll be the last one in the round.
Perfect. Great.
Noise.
Take it
Sweet.
away.
So I will insightful observation. I will boost using post-cognition.
Yeah.
And the red zone and insight, just like I do. And I've got a +2 on this one. And that will be
Try to not move this. It's in a specific
6,
filming area.
7. So that is a +2, right?
Yeah, 7 is +2.
Yep.
Yep.
+2 for any attack and overcome.
Right. So there's just that +2 is back on the table again.
So now Bespoke goes.
+2 to hero attacks and overcomes is available for all heroes, and there you go. It's not a boost on any one person. Okay, so right. First off, what penalties and bonuses? You're good. You have only bonuses.
I have-
You have a -2. Do you have any penalties or bonuses, Riley? And he has a +2.
Yes.
His +2 becomes a -2.
Oh, okay.
At the start of when in the red zone, at the start of my turn, I can change a penalty into a bonus or a bonus into a penalty. So that's gone. And
right.
also for my action, I'll just do the same thing for you. Because I have a yellow ability that does that as an action. So I turn his -2 into his +2 into -2. Actually, I have to do that in reverse. I have to do yours and then his, but for reasons.
That's fine.
So so I'll just nope, that's better this way.
All right.
And the numbers do what I tell them to, and I will pass it to the environment.
Okay. The ground continues to crumble.
We gotta take this out now.
I'm gonna use rooted again, which will hinder him and is an attack. So he did a shimmery thing around me, and then I think after that he attacked Riley.
Yes.
So he's still pretty close to me. So I'm gonna do the same thing where I just like grab him and like yank it. Like I'm trying to hold him in place, even though he like can kind of shimmer past it sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes he can't. So I'm trying to hold him in. So that's plants, science, and I am in the red zone. I'm gonna use my
There you go.
+1 hero.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so you have a +4.
plus that one. So
You
this
do have
one's
a-
all heroes on attacks.
So that's just that one
That's
specifically.
that one, but I have it written down. And
Right.
then there's the one that you turned into a +2, and
Right.
then my
+5.
in
Right.
total.
And this is you're doing the thing that gives you attack and hinder. Mm-hmm. So you have
So
to decide
I
how you want
can't-
to split up.
Yeah,
If you want to put any of it on the hinder, you probably want to just put it on the attack.
yeah, probably.
So your mid's a 4.
4, so
Okay.
that has to go to it. So that makes it a 6. And then if I add this to it, that'll make it an 8.
Yeah, so the trick is if you're going to put anything on the min, which is your hinder, you're only it's worth
put
only
it all
putting
to
4.
damage,
I'd
yeah.
put it all to damage.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So-
So yeah, then it turns that 4 into a 9 instead.
So he has 9 damage, and he still has a -1 hinder.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Top of the order.
Yeah.
So you can pass it to anybody you want to. Everybody refreshes.
Does anyone have preferences? Should I do it?
I think we can plan on, like, hopefully he's low enough that we're in pretty good shape. I think we definitely want to just sandbag him to the very end of the round. Like, usually letting him go last is not good, but we're low on time. So I think that what we want to do is make a mega turn. Coda still goes last because that +2 is real solid, but I would pass it to me. I'll boost you 2.
That's what
then
I
I'll
was
pass it back to
figuring.
you, and you pass it to Riley, or vice versa.
Okay, cool. You go.
The best
So-
possible.
Okay,
Alright.
so because there's no minuses in play that I need to mess with. Oh, you're right. At the start of my turn, I could make his minuses into pluses.
That's true.
I could do that.
You could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't have his reaction though. Do you have something that can refresh
make
reactions?
that a
'Cause
negative.
That
Can
would
you
be.
negative?
Yeah.
It's not on a hero, but it is. Yeah, I could. Yes,
Okay.
I could turn it into a negative for all hero attacks and
Good rules
overcomes.
clarification.
Do you want me to do that?
No, you
Clarify the
know.
rules.
But do you want me to do that?
All right.
Not-
Go
not
ahead.
this
Go
game.
ahead and take your
Okay.
turn.
Okay.
If we're running low on time.
No, we're not running low on time. We're running low on red
Okay.
zone time.
All right.
We're running low on the floor's about to fall on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's become a platformer world soon.
right. So, what I'm gonna
You can
do,
see some rebar like in the.
bar again. Is I'm gonna just make some bespoke. That's my name. Bonuses for you two for your upcoming actions here with my garbage red zone die, which is fine.
I'm really surprised you didn't make minions. It's late now, but like,
It was late to begin with. By the time everything
It
got
would've been
kicked
really
off,
It would have
Yeah.
been really
would've
good.
been-
If the first 2 turns you had taken had been all minions, I could have
Yeah.
had those minions be.
yeah.
Yeah,
I could
no,
put
I
I
know.
could put special suits on.
I
them.
know. By the time that it was like really into the fighting, it wasn't appropriate.
But like, if you
Yeah.
have 4 turns left on here, that's plenty of time for minions.
okay, it
That's
didn't, okay.
just
Oh, perfect, fantastic. So you both get +2. You both have another +2 as I drape bits of cloth about you, and you feel more costume because both of you, in my opinion, are garbage at costumes. And so I give you.
Wear costumes.
See,
so-
but you are now.
I
and
make my
you too.
own. Thanks.
Yep, I can tell. And so now you have one made by somebody who's not you,
Yeah.
and you feel inspired by these costumes.
I don't think
It's a mechanic in the game. You feel inspired.
You have to.
Yep. Like
I'm really mad. There's
it's not
like
opinion.
there's a giant puffy bow involved, and I'm really upset about
Yeah,
it.
it looks good though. It matches your hair.
So it's just like
it's like
Yeah, it's a
Green
bad
and
looking
black.
bow.
it's like
Bad
an
dye
80s
job.
dance
Yeah,
bow.
exactly.
Like, yeah.
But gothy.
yeah.
It's got a little skull in it.
I know.
I put a little skull in the bow for you.
I don't
Like the
think-
middle of the bow, like where the dot is, the skull.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I'm not
It's a
gonna do
little
it.
mushroom.
Like a little silver skull that's shiny.
All right, so
Worse.
I'm gonna pass it back to you.
Okay.
She spends her whole action ripping off this bow.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that.
A rhinestone skull.
I'm very upset.
No,
I,
it's
I'm
really
just
dramatic.
still rooted. Like
Shiny.
that's definitely the right
That's the
move.
one
So,
action.
What do your red zone ones do?
Yeah, she's got some really cool red zones ones, which doesn't like you.
They're minions. They're
Oh.
all about minions. It's
Oh, okay.
a well, actually, I guess I could have created 2 minions using part detachment.
That would have been. It's too late
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That would have been good when we hit the red zone.
It's alright.
Yeah.
That was
It's
her
okay.
debate back
It's
then.
okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. What'd you get?
I rolled an 8, and I have so I've got a +2 from. I think I'm just using them all, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The +2 from Coda and the
Do
+2
it.
from me. So you
Yeah.
have 12 damage on
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
And then you also have this 1 for your min, so it's a -1, another -1 hinder on it.
Okay.
And then you can pass it.
Really.
Yes.
Yeah. Do a bunch of things. Offensive strike, so
Yeah,
that
there
I
we
can
go.
use my max die again.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I did 9 the last time I did damage, so it should be at 10 right now.
He's
No.
got defenses.
Oh, okay.
Don't look at those numbers.
Yeah.
Those are not for you to
Sorry.
look at.
These are
that's,
for you to
that's
look
not,
at.
That's not information. Like, we can play without a GM screen as long as people are cool about it.
Nah.
Be cool.
This is my GM screen now.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no!
All right.
If only there were a
Max
product
die.
for that.
You got an 8 over here. You guys, so 8's your max value.
8's my max.
8's your max.
Amazing.
So,
8 plus 4.
so 12.
Yes,
12.
those are the only
Okay.
ones on the table. Yeah. Bam.
Okay. So,
And that's
explain how that goes.
Let's see. So things are crumbling all around me. The stairs are crumbling, the floor is crumbling, everything's crumbling. So I reach down and pick up a piece of rubble with my hand that is also on fire,
Yeah.
and I just go for it, and I like take it, and I just go for it like straight into the
Yeah.
jawline,
right in
just
the jaw.
right
Yeah.
to the face, side of the face.
Flaming rubble.
So yeah, it just
Yeah.
explodes against the side of his face. There's just
Yeah.
cinders everywhere, and he falls to his knees, and it seems at first like he's breathing heavy, but then you notice that he's actually crying.
He's so sad.
And
I reach into his pocket and take the golden thread from him.
and he says, I need you to finish it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like Mortal Kombat finishing move.
He,
Finish him.
he says, not you, only he can do it. He says, I can't die, and I need you to kill me. And he reaches in like a non-pocket
Yeah,
that
sure.
he has basically, and produces. He has a golden thimble, and he goes, I need you to take this from me. And
Is he saying that specifically to somebody?
he says it. Says it to you.
To Bespoke.
Yeah.
All right.
He says, he says, I can't eat, I can't drink, I can't sleep. I'm trapped in eternal stasis. I'm protected from time and the elements, but I'm banished from life, and I need you to save me from that.
I take. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I kind of want to like get more information from him before we do that. But
I mean, this seems
I don't
like
know
a.
if we can.
This doesn't seem like a let's have a conversation about this moment.
I mean, I don't necessarily mean like a full conversation, but I feel like she would be like, but why you? Like, why this? Why?
Sure.
Like,
Say it.
there, there's something more to this. How did
Yeah,
this happen?
and this is, we've stopped here.
Yeah.
This is stable enough you can have the conversation. It's very dramatic. There's things
Right,
falling
that's what I
everywhere,
mean, like,
sparks
she
and
would,
whatever,
like,
but like,
grab him
yes.
by the scruff and be like, but why you? Tell me why.
And
Tell me why.
he tells you that that he says this is part of a set. I know that he has the needle, and only someone with one of the gifts of fate can take my life. And the gift can only be given with the death of its owner. He said when he was young, he felt led to this place where there were these people that were the Order of Fate, and they kept this thimble and no one held it for centuries. But I didn't know. I took it up, and I'm now protected from everything. Time moves around me. I can feel when it shifts, and I'm saved from it. But it has also prevented me from living my life.
I know that feel, bro.
They just
Big
let
mood.
you take their like.
Big mood.
They just let you take their like special thimble thing.
No, I killed them.
Okay, that's a good good
Yeah,
part of the
and
story to know.
he's completely tearful. As
And
he's
like,
saying
and
all
like,
this,
I'm
too.
like, I would take your thimble from you, but I would not take your life.
You cannot take one without the other. Please save me from this.
There is always another way.
There is no other way.
You have
Oh, go ahead. Go for it.
you have the opportunity to come to terms with your existence.
If you won't kill me, then I will find someone who will. And he stands and sort of limps towards the giant hole that he's made and flies out.
Did you have anything you wanted to say to him as he was walking off?
No, that's fine. I was gonna say I let him live in his world of remorse and eternal struggle.
That's a rough spot because, like, Bespoke would actually be fine with living in this existence of just helping heroes out forever, and like that's kind of the space he's carved out for himself. But he's not going to kill Ultraviolence. He's not going to kill somebody.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to do? Right
Just hang
now?
out in this building.
Make
while
sure
we're
that
there.
if there's anybody in this building that's in danger, we get them out.
Yeah.
Since they're in
The only
trouble.
people that were in immediate danger were the security guards.
Okay.
There's a few more custodial staff, security guards, but they're able to get out other exits and stuff like that. So, yeah. There's a little bit of a coda to this issue.
It's you.
Yeah.
A little bit of a
A
coda.
little bit of a
bit.
coda.
It's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You're only like
Tried
what,
to turn into
5'4"?
a kid again and just
5'5".
turned into a little.
I'm
Coda.
sorry. Sorry.
It's ultraviolent. And he kneels in a dark room and says, I beg you, end it. And a figure says, as you wish. A quick jerk and a clean slice, and Ultraviolet's head falls to the floor. This figure kneels and takes the thimble in his hand and slides it onto his thumb. And that is the end of that issue.
We don't know any of that.
Right, but like that's a
Yeah.
narrative device.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, everybody,
Thank you.
for playing. Had a fun day today.
What are we gonna name it, guys?
So, given that we went back in time, the loom ended up not being important to this issue, other than a thing that happened in the previous one. The couple of name ideas I had is like doomed to repeat. But I also kind of like, because we were looking at the past, we were looking at things that happened before, and also looking at the past with Ultraviolent's life. What year is this happening in? Is this happening?
Current year.
Is it modern day?
Now, yeah.
Great, I love it. Hindsight is 2019.
That's really funny.
Which the fact that nobody has made that joke, as far as I've seen yet, is really depressing to me. Like, I expect a lot of hindsight jokes next year.
Right, yeah.
It's got to happen.
Right.
But let's get ahead of the curve.
Definitely. What everyone...
Also, I like that this will air in 2020.
Oh, perfect.
That's true, yeah.
The distant past of 2019.
What did everybody enjoy about this last issue?
I liked my genuine answer is that I liked the ultraviolet fight.
Yeah.
My other answer is that I really liked the discussion of the star rating system,
Which is not the genuine answer.
Right.
which I genuinely enjoyed.
I
wasn't inherent to this.
I like that we got to spend some time in the red zone, because that's where I get to do all the gross stuff.
Right. Red Zone's fun.
Yeah, red zone is like, I built everything around. I do the exact same stuff, but a series of inherent things all just happen around me.
Yeah.
I don't, and
Yeah,
so that's
really cool.
yeah, unnecessary.
Yeah.
So that's good. I wanted another option than just letting him leave with a thimble. Like, you put an option on the table that was obviously a non-option. Like
that. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with these with the gifts of fate is
Yeah,
they
yeah.
can only be transferred with death.
well, but how did you then how does, so if that's the case,
Yes.
then how did they ever get split up?
Because
Right.
right. No, I know what this is.
Right.
Specifically, the Order of Fate, the people that he took it from,
Yeah.
were a group of people that they had all three of them, and they said, okay, it's not good for these to be together
Sure.
because these control way too much stuff.
Yeah.
We are going to split them up, and the only way to do it was with death. And a member of their order sacrificed his life
Yeah.
to
Give it to multiple people.
well, to give them to multiple people, but also to give the thimble to no one. No one killed him, and no one picked it up after he died. So, I mean, for centuries, it just stayed in a locked safe, and they guarded it.
Sure.
And then he went and killed them, and just picked it up,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Right.
Yep.
Well, there we go.
Yep. You get to know that. Your characters don't.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the letters page.
Right. That would
We
be
just
like.
tell all the answers, and we're like, but nobody knows this stuff. So don't
Right.
worry
That
about
would
it.
be like 6 pages of comics that you're like, okay, yep, yep.
Yeah. Right.
Here's this whole order. Yeah.
Right. Here's all these people that died hundreds of years ago. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious as to why he looks younger now. Are we saying that the ultraviolence
Because
we
it
saw?
froze him when he got it.
So we're saying that the
when he was younger.
ultraviolence that we saw in the funeral in issue 1, that had never happened.
He
to
did
him.
not have the thimble originally. Yeah.
Interesting.
And so something in the stuff that we did changed to the point that he ended up with the thimble, which he didn't have before. And who was he coming here to the university to say? Because he's like,
We don't know.
He's looking for someone.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it could have been you, but I don't think it was based
Like
on the way
he
you
didn't know I was
talked.
in the university.
Yeah.
And also he saw me at the funeral.
And,
So,
and
like-
also he saw you there and wasn't like, it's you. You're the guy I
Right,
was
it's
looking
Dr.
for.
Submersible.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Submersible?
Sevastopol.
No, you got to pick a different one every time.
Oh, okay.
Dr.
That's the
Sondheim.
game.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Dr. Sondheim?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So
You're gonna run out of words. You're gonna run out.
S words, Adam?
Nah.
S words?
You'll run out.
Swords. Saber. Scimitar.
Is that like Beats Paris Battlestar Galactica?
No.
Is that what we're doing right now?
No, it's a.
And other S words like celery.
That's not an S word.
Dr. Celery
That's-
would work though. Like it
I
follows
did
the
call him
same
Dr.
logic.
Cilantro earlier.
Oh, the
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
So we have C words on the table.
Yeah. It's not a doctor, it's a professor.
You know, 6 of 1.
I've heard it both ways.
Didn't we say
You
you
can
had
be
a
a
doctor
doctor
in
and a
history?
Yes, you can, but we've been calling him Professor so-and-so this whole time, so
Yes.
then switching to doctor is
Well,
a little
professor is
weird.
his job.
He's a doctor in this universe.
And doctor.
This
right.
time.
It is time I
Doctor
Doctor
is
is
his
his title.
name.
Yeah.
Well, no, his title, his
His
degree.
name, no, his mom named him Doctor.
Mm.
She was aspirational.
Any other questions? Maybe some that I won't answer?
Dr. Sebastian.
So you said he had thread in the photo, though, right?
No,
No,
he
I
had
he
symbol.
had, he had something
He
gold.
had the
Oh,
symbol.
you
Gold, and I
assumed it was.
assumed it was thread.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
could
it happens when you assume.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
make a guess based on information you have at hand, and it's usually pretty close. Yeah.
That's what I
That's
couldn't
what
remember,
happens
is
when you
if we
assume.
knew that or
It's
if
like
we
that.
were thinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an assumption.
All right.
Going into issue 4, I wanted to start back at the beginning of where we started the entire thing and dredge up all those emotions from the funeral from issue 1. So that when we went into the fight with Ultraviolent at the university, things were already a little bit raw. That's how I wanted people a little bit on edge for that.
My character, my hero, had just seen at the tail end of the last episode or last issue, she had just seen her biggest fear not only come to life, but also caused by her. She's like nervous, and so her body is starting to sprout plants, just like little bits of things here and there. Like she's got a mushroom like on her shoulder that no one can see because of her hair, luckily, and she needs to calm down or she's gonna freak out. And so the first person she sees is Riley, and so she goes up to her and she's like trying to not be impolite because this is still Riley's father's funeral, and clearly Riley had a very emotional time in the last issue, and she's aware of that to an extent. They're not best friends, but you can pick up on stuff, right? So she's like, I don't want to freak out at you, but I'm also very much freaking out. And her biggest concern is like, was that real or was that not real? I'm not sure yet. Like, that's what she's thinking about. She's like, I think that could have been real. I don't know that it couldn't, I don't know that couldn't happen. Also, why are we here?
I really, really am concerned about knowing what's going on and why there's these time jumps happening. And so that's why I want to follow Ultraviolent. I was hoping that I could get Ultraviolent to, share his point of view from the situation, because then we could figure stuff out there. So I was a little bit, disappointed. Kodo was a bit disappointed that we had to, have a violent interaction with Ultraviolent, and that we couldn't just, the name's Ultraviolent, so makes some sense. But I was hoping that we could, you've got a piece of the puzzle, I've got a piece of the puzzle, let's try to figure this out.
Since we've seen this funeral before, I'm very curious about what's different, and a thing that those of us that are back in it again are very aware of is that, there's going to be this disturbance, and a whiteout's going to come in there, and there's going to be a blizzard, and so we're thinking about how that's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen. And it's the absence of that really leaves an impact. And sure, Ultraviolent leaves, and that's obviously a thread for us to follow, but it's very unclear what's happening here, other than the fact that it's so different. So the change itself is the notable part, rather than what it's specifically changed to.
Been going along saying how she's not a hero, her family had powers, she didn't have powers, all these things. And we find out that was sort of true. Unlike her twin brother, unlike her mom and her dad, she was not born with powers, but we find out that Riley actually has fire manipulation. And the way that she got that was through the tragedy of the accident with her twin brother and her mother and trying to save them. And so now we're finding out what she's been dealing with all along, where, you think that she's just kind of a cold person, and you're finding out more and more of the fact that, no, being a superpowered human, it gets you into trouble, it gets you killed, it gets you this, she's always trained and tried to be better than that and more than that so that she can save people every day in her own way. And now we find out that the thing that killed her family is the thing that she is now left with, and she's left with the physical and emotional scars of this, with the ability to manipulate fire. And she reached a point in this issue where she was so emotionally stressed and everything that was going on and trying to take down Ultraviolent that she finally loses that self-control and erupts into exposing herself. And the bandages that she always wears, burn off. You see the scars, all of that. And it's kind of a moment where the team's like, what, I didn't, okay, sure, we'll figure out how to deal with this, you know. And so for her, because there's a big battle and a big fight, she gets through it. But then at the end of that, she's very much like, nope, I'm out of here. I've revealed too much. I gotta go.
Coda really enjoys like standing back and assessing the situation and helping their allies like know how to approach things and solve problems and observe things and gather information and that kind of things. And so I really enjoy how the tactical like consequences of that basically, which is that if we can stack up a bunch of other bonuses so that even though we have like effectively when you get into the mechanics of the game, we only have 2 characters who are like rolling attack rolls like ever, really, right? But we wind up being super effective by stacking up like cool bonuses and having reactions that can like redirect stuff around and help like mitigate any like negative effects that are going on. So that's been really a lot of fun.
So we had a very interesting twist there at the end. You know, I know I did, and I think we all kind of assumed that Ultraviolent was going to be our big reveal. Is like, all right, it's been me all along. I know for Riley, that's what she's going in with, the assumption of like, no, clearly this is the guy. It's my father's biggest hero. He's showing up at this funeral. Like, clearly this is the guy behind everything. And so we go through this big fight where, you know, Riley's just, she's gone through like full ground and pound. Like, she's just ready to take this guy down. And then he gets to that moment of like, essentially begging for a mercy killing. And for her, that's like, it was a tough moment for Bespoke because he was the one that would have to do it, and that is not how his character is. That's not who he is as a person. And then for Riley, she kind of was between a point of like, no, you know what? Let him suffer. Let him live with this. If this is what causes him pain, then let him go. Let him be with that pain. And he gets away. And so that's tough because it's like, oh, you never want to see them get away, but also he's serving his punishment and she's okay with that.
So Ultraviolent is someone that I kind of created as a patsy in the whole thing. He's someone who is a tragic figure who used to be a prominent villain, a very dangerous person, but has sort of reformed a little bit. He hasn't gone out and become a hero, but he's taken a step back from villainy. And in the manipulations of time, he's ended up with this thimble, and it's left him with a really hollow life. And he's led his life mostly the same way, only with a lot of the feelings and enjoyments and basic pleasures of human life removed from them. So he's someone who ultimately wants to not live anymore, and I found that pretty tragic. And I didn't know exactly what was going to happen at the end of this fight, so I had like 4 endings written, just in case, like depending on what they did. And so for them to pick the way that they did ends up really bad because now the main villain has the thread and the thimble, both.
Fighting with Ultraviolent felt very like. It felt like it was a big deal, and then to come to the end of it and kind of realize maybe he's not the only problem. Maybe there's something bigger. That's really scary for Floral Phantom. She's a new hero, so she's used to breaking up petty crimes like burglaries and stuff. She's not used to fighting supervillains in the first place, let alone a supervillain who to her was pretty bad. Like, he was a scary guy. And he's not even the biggest threat, probably. I've already seen that one guy's needle. This is a thimble. There's probably something, like, there's gotta be a thing, right? There's something more going on here. And so there's a part of her who's just like, the scientist part of her is very curious. She's like, okay, what happens when we get all of them? Or like, do we get, like, do people do that? Is it a gotta get them all, like, situation? And so she's got a billion questions, but she's also terrified.
It's clear that this is not like the end of things. It's not where it's going. This is a fight against Ultraviolent. Ultraviolent is looking for someone or something, and over the course of this fight, we learn that Ultraviolent just wants to be freed from the curse that is this gift of fate that he carries, this golden thimble, which is obviously directly related to the knowing needle that Bespoke carries. So that's something. We get a bit of an epilogue there where whoever the threadbearer is also gains the thimble, and so now somebody's holding 2 of the 3 gifts of fate. I'm holding the 3rd, which is both, I'm glad that he doesn't have all 3, but I'm not sure, I'm sure he wants all 3, and so that's going to come up again. So as we go into this, I don't know a lot about my opponent. I think it is likely that it is this Professor Saderlin that we dealt with earlier. That seems to be the most likely thing. If it's not, that's fine. The important thing to me is that no matter what, someone who I can't trust doesn't end up with all 3 gifts of fate.
Thanks for watching this issue of Sentinel Comics, the role-playing game. If you want the next issue, click right here. Bye.